I am absolutely sick. I am absolutely sick of not being able to call black people out on their bullshit without them immediately claiming it to be a racist attack. It doesn't matter if it's on a cruise ship. It doesn't matter if it's at the airport. It doesn't matter if it's on a plane. It doesn't matter if it's at Disneyland. Black folks have gotten to the point where they feel they have the right to behave in a disorderly, violent, aggressive manner in any setting. And what makes it worse is they believe that if anyone says anything about it, including but not limited to other black or African American people, those people are not simply pointing out the obvious. Those people are either racist, they're white supremacists, or they are black agents of racism and white supremacy. I am now giving this a name. I am now going to call this the Karmelo culture. Karmelo culture. This culture not only emboldens black people to act in an animalistic way, it is to the point now where you have race hustling attorneys rallying around a murderous teen killer. What their goal is to get Karmelo Anthony out of jail. They want to create a world where people walk around believing that they have the right to stab other people in the name of self-defense. It doesn't matter if their claim is accurate. It doesn't matter if what they did is justified. All they have to do is feel like what they did is right. And for many people, they want that to be enough. Hey, this dude stepped on my shoe. I shot him, but I felt like he was going to do something else to me, so it's justified and I should be able to walk free. You now have the black fatigue Avengers, these race hustling lawyers, that's what I'm calling them. The black fatigue Avengers have now assembled around this killer team. Now, I cannot be the only person who feels this way. And I know for damn sure I'm not the only black person who feels this way. But if we don't speak up and speak out against this, these people will take over and destroy what's left of the peace, security, and prosperity of this country we call America. I'm Brandon Tucker. Welcome to Defiant Brandon. Welcome back to Accountability.
A group of civil rights and criminal defense attorneys are joining Karmelo Anthony's legal team pro bono following his murder conviction and 35-year prison sentence for stabbing and killing Austin Metcalf. His new legal team writing, quote, "Our appellate team has been retained following the conviction to conduct a fresh independent review of the trial record. Our responsibility is to determine whether a legal error occurred and to ensure that every issue supported by the record is fully and vigorously presented on appeal. The appellate process exists for precisely this purpose." Project 21 author and co-chair Horace Cooper joins me now. Horace, he's bringing in heavy hitters from the NAACP along with a prominent appellate specialist. Will it work?
Well, it depends on what the goal is. If the goal is actually to get this sentence overturned, I think it's highly, highly unlikely. However, if the real purpose is to create racial friction and engage in a publicity campaign that creates the impression that here in Texas, people aren't able to get along well, and that we have major racial conflicts, that could be effective. You've got the Benjamin Crump team working here. You've got the Texas, the president, Gary Bledsoe of the NAACP. You got people here who are capable of using a platform to create a narrative. And that's why it's so important that the judge recently released some of the video from the trial so that people could see for themselves just how shallow the claims are that this trial was a miscarriage of justice.
Let's break down your claims in turn. Let's start with the law. They can't re-argue the facts on appeal. You just can't do that. That's not how appellate process works.
Okay, so let me tell you, this black man up here, he's a lawyer. He's just telling the truth. He said if they're looking to get this case overturned, this verdict overturned, it's not going to happen, right? The minute he said that, he became an outcast in the black community. Not because what he's saying is wrong, not because he has a grudge against Karmelo Anthony, not because he's a raccoon who hates his own people. He is now an outcast in the black community because he told black people something that they just don't want to hear. They know it's true, but truth is not the major arbiter of acceptance or rejection. If you tell black people something that they don't want to hear, you are now a white supremacist or an agent of white supremacy who is here to kill and murder black people. That's why the black community looks the way it looks, because they've made it criminal to say anything that the ignorant masses of black America do not want to hear, no matter how true it is. So every lawyer I've heard, right, except for the NAACP race hustlers, has said, look, there's no way they're getting that verdict overturned. You can't even do that in an appeals process. That's not even the nature of it. So the man here makes a very truthful observation. He just said, look, if their goal is to get the verdict overturned, it ain't happening. But if their goal is to sow racial division, if their goal is to create a circus of racial friction, they may succeed in doing that. And what you have to understand about the NAACP, Southern Poverty Law Center, and the rest of these civil rights hustlers, that's all they want, because that's what they benefit from. As long as we're at each other's throats, they benefit. So their job becomes to keep white and black divided, fighting at each other's throat by any means necessary. Civil rights used to be about people not being judged by the color of their skin. It used to be about people being judged about the content of their character. But what black people realized was a lot of black people have no character, or most of their character traits are bad. So they had to redefine what civil rights was, what racial justice was. So it went from black people being treated fairly with no regard to race to black people being permitted to operate under a different set of rules than everybody else. And in some places it worked, but they want it to be the same in all places. And that's why you have a situation like this. Austin Metcalf stabs Karmelo. He goes to jail for life and he got what he deserved. Karmelo stabs Austin Metcalf. He's an innocent victim who was railroaded by the system of white supremacy and systemic oppression. Let's just get that out the way.
And this judge, to your point, really ran a tight ship throughout this case, so there's not a lot of error potentially to attack there. So besides arguing that there were no black jurors, what else is there? Do you see a potential Hail Mary from his team?
No, this Batson challenge is really all that they have, but it gives them the ability to make regular pronouncements, talk in the public, and they may find some particular extraneous incident that they can use out of context. But you said it right. If we were sitting in my classroom, you'd get the gold star. The trial is already happened, and the appeals courts are only going to review the law. They're not triers of fact. You can't introduce new evidence, and the way this trial ended up being carried out, the judge was very careful to make sure that he didn't leave opportunities for this case to be set aside.
Quickly, the father of the victim telling Will Cain that the family of Karmelo Anthony wasn't there for the victim impact statements. Quote, they left that poor child up there by himself as soon as that verdict was read. What does that say to you about the ulterior motive with this appeal and with the case overall to use this tragedy, to your point, to gin up racial tensions? About 20 seconds to you, Horace.
A young man is going to be sent away for 35 years. It would be great if his family came together, acknowledged what happened, apologized to the Metcalf family, and apologized to the nation. Instead, it looks like a bunch of racial hustlers are trying to divide us. I hope it doesn't succeed.
It is a sad case. There are no winners here. You hope that the racial card is not being played to create some quote-unquote winners in this context. It's not right. Horace Cooper, thanks for your time and your insight.
Listen, Horace Cooper right here. I like this guy. I'm going to look him up. If I'm ever on trial or kill somebody in Texas, I want him to represent me. Guys, this is nothing but another race hustle. This is nothing but the NAACP, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and the usual suspects using a tragedy to make a profit. Because even if they say, well, we're going to do it pro bono, hell, they could write this off on their taxes. Hell, there's somebody who's kicking them down something. Trust me, because you could have represented Karmelo Anthony pro bono at the beginning of his case. But they were quiet. There was dead silence when this all started from these people. And literally, if you're black, you were kind of asking, like, where's Ben Crump? Where's Jasmine Crockett? Where are all the usual suspects? They were dead silent. And the reason why is because the check wasn't big enough. These people don't move for hundreds of thousands. These people move for millions. And even though they're saying we're taking this case pro bono, we're not getting anything, I promise you, there is probably some rich liberal benefactor who is sliding them some money behind the table. I wouldn't be surprised if it was George or Alex Soros or the other dude who lives in China. The people who are working every day to destroy this country and use the racial divide as a weapon to do so. They're getting money from somewhere. These people don't work for free. They don't work for free. But this is just an escalatory tactic that they are using to try to squeeze the last drops of racial division out of this situation before Karmelo Anthony inevitably goes to serve his 35-year prison sentence. He ain't getting out. I don't care how much that hurt your mama feelings. He ain't getting out. I'm telling you that right now. And let me tell you something else. And if you keep playing cute, this is my message to all the ignorant black folks down in Texas. And if you keep playing cute, you gonna make it to the point where when 17 years rolls around, those people on that appeals board or on that parole board gonna say, we not letting this dude out. We not letting this dude out because if we let him out in 17 years, those ignorants, those no good, those undesirables, they'll try to find a way to spin it into a victory. No, he killed somebody. We know you're bloodthirsty. We know you're murderous. We know you're miserable and unhappy. We know your life is messed up. We know you got 5 kids by 5 different dudes and you don't even know the last names of none of them. We know you got 7 baby mamas and they all put you on child support so your check get FICA, NICA, and SICA a million ways before they actually pay you and you only get 50 cents for 40 hours of work. We know. We know. As a black American, I'm telling you, the world knows that black America is miserable. But what we're not going to do in this country, non-black people and black people with sense, we're not going to accompany you in your misery. We're not going to let you make us unsafe because you hate and despise your life that you fashioned for yourself. So now you walk around desiring nothing more to destroy other people's lives so they end up in the same situation as you. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting that happen. And you could be as mad as you want to because we believe in peace, prosperity, progress. Let me show you what we don't believe. This is what we don't believe in. We don't, normal folks don't do this.
Bright pink shirt, it may look red on your screen. He apparently gets into some sort of discussion that escalates quite quickly as a woman in a white tank top spits in his face and then he punches.
Yeah, we don't do this. Y'all racist. When's the last time you heard of white folks, Asians, Mexicans, Samoans even, and they be ignorant sometimes too. When is the last time you heard of any other group breaking out into a brawl at Disneyland? A brawl. And it ain't just like dudes, hey bro, you bumped me. No, it's females, big ones, men, women. I'm glad the kids didn't jump out the strollers and get involved in the squabble. No one's doing that. No one's doing that. And you expect us to just say, you know what? That's not something that's just particular to them. Yeah, it is. This is behavior that is the norm for a certain contingent within Black America. I'm not saying it's all black people, but this element of our community definitely exists, and it loves to take its ignorance on the road. They don't just stay in the ghetto no more. They got money now. They scammers now. They are able to scam their way into gaining access to spaces that in the past they would never be allowed into. And instead of saying, you know what, it's nice over here, maybe I will change my behavior to be more appropriate for this setting. No. No. They bring the ghetto ass behavior right along with them. They pack it in their bags like they packing clothes. They pack it in their bags like they're packing a pair of shorts. Oh, Brandon, you lying. You just hate black people. You don't like shit. What's this?
Disturbing video captured the moment a massive brawl broke out among Carnival cruise ship.
Let me freeze frame it, and I'll let y'all point out the white people that's doing this. I'll freeze frame it. See, that's the problem. You got so many people on social media.
Passengers in Texas.
I want to rewind this.
Disturbing video.
Because I want y'all to show me where the white folks is at. Everybody do this. That's what these ignorants say. Well, everybody's doing that. Find the video on YouTube where white folks break out into a big ass brawl on a Carnival cruise ship.
Captured the
or at Disneyland.
Moment a massive brawl broke out among Carnival cruise ship passengers in Texas, resulting in more than a dozen people being banned from the liner for life. The violence erupted as passengers were disembarking from the...
You done acted so ignorant that Carnival cruise ship don't even want your money no more. They just banned you for life. They said, damn, we don't want them on here. We don't want them on here, period. Do you know how ridiculous you have to behave for a corporation to say, we don't want your money? I used to work at a grocery store, and we would always catch people stealing, and we would want to ban those people from the store for stealing. Our higher-ups in the corporate office said, don't ban them, because they might steal $100 or $200 worth of stuff over a month, but they come up in here with $1,000 worth of EBT, so it offsets whatever they steal. Do you know how ignorant you have to behave collectively for a Carnival Cruise Line to want to ban you from getting on their ships permanently? And black folks will say, well, we're the victims. It doesn't matter if what we're doing is costing this company millions of dollars in settlements. It doesn't matter if our behavior threatens the existence of the corporation that employs thousands of people. They don't care. We should be allowed to do whatever we want, whenever we want to do it, and nobody should have the right to say anything to us. And that, my friends, is the Karmelo culture. This whole appeal, it's a hoax. There's nothing real about this appeal situation. This is a test. This is ignorant black folks testing America to see how committed America is to law and order. That's what evil does. Evil constantly tests good to see if good is going to falter or show weakness in the face of that evil. And I'm telling you, these people are evil. You might say, Brandon, that's a little bit harsh. You calling black people evil? No, these are black people, but they're only a segment of the black community. These the ones who murder somebody who look like them over nothing. These the ones who gun you down at the gas station because you wouldn't give them your wallet. These the ones who hit a innocent woman in the head with a hammer because she came outside and asked them to please stop vandalizing her vehicle. Those are this is who we're talking about. If you're black and you're offended by anything I'm saying, you're one of them. If you're black and you got a problem with anything I'm saying, you're part of the problem. I don't identify with these people because me and these people are so different. They might as well be green. They might as well be aliens from another planet, another galaxy. If you comparing them to me, I have kids to raise and send out into the world. These people have kids too, but they don't give a damn. They're like Karmelo Anthony's parents. I send my kids out to learn and prosper and become productive members of society. They send their kids out to become murderous thugs. They send their kids out to become murderous thugs and then get angry when somebody dares to speak up against them. They'll gun you down. You know it's true. You know it's true. Why do you think when black people get money, they move away from these people? Why do you think that? Because everything I'm saying is true. And guess what? The devil is a liar. So everything, when I tell the truth, they're going to say, that's not true. That's not true. You know it's true. Look at the way they're defending the murderer, Karmelo Anthony. If you defend a cold-blooded killer, all that means you have the capacity to be a cold-blooded killer too. You just afraid. You too much of a punk to actually do it. So you sit back in the shadows, wait for someone else to do it. Then you stand behind them and try to fight for them and rationalize why they did it and justify why they did it. That's the reality. That's the reality. They murderous. Go to the hood and watch these people fight. Watch these people fight. Watch the ghetto blacks fight. They don't just fight until one get the better of the other one. They don't just fight until, okay, I got you, it's over. No, they knock somebody on the ground, they start stomping on his skull, kicking him in his testicles. They start stomping on his chest and his head trying to kill him. You telling me that this ain't a murderous bunch of people? What? How you fight somebody, you get the better of them. They're on the ground, so they're knocked unconscious. So they're done. That ain't enough for you, though. You got to try to kill them. You start stomping on their skull, trying to kill them. Why? Why do you do that? And you know what the other ignorants do? They stand around and watch and record it. Nobody says, hey man, hey, that's too much. No one says that. They all stand around and say, well, I know this man has won the fight, but I'll sit here silently as he attempts to unalive this other person for some frivolous reason. Black folks, someone else kill a black person. Oh, Lord. Hallelujah. We in there singing and slow singing and flower bringing. But we start killing each other. Doesn't even matter. Karmelo Anthony gets 35 years in jail. Oh, my God. Hold the phone. Stop the presses. 40 people get shot in Chicago over a 3-day weekend. We won't even mention it. The jig is up, black folks. This ignorant contingent of black America, they fought for body cams to hold police accountable. But they never realized that the camera would be their worst enemy. Worst thing ever happened to black America was somebody putting a camera on a cell phone. Because now people can go on the internet and they can see firsthand the animalistic behavior, animalistic behavior of certain people in the black community. I'm telling you. You think I'm joking? Let's look at this. Come on. He's lying. He's just hating on black people. Man, the evidence is, the facts in the video don't lie.
Well, you've probably seen the video online. A massive brawl broke out at Port Miami earlier today. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says that the fight was between two families. Take a look.
Look at this. We gonna play the game and point out the white folks.
This is video from Only in Dade. According to a spokesperson for Carnival Cruise Line, a total of 16 people have been placed on their do not sell list. The spokesperson also said that it happened while the families were passing through Customs and Border Patrol. MDSO said neither of the families wanted to press charges against each other.
Yeah, of course they didn't. Now look, they done got out there fighting and squabbling all up in the port of Miami, right? But we don't want to press charges against each other because this is not something that's done because there was an offense committed. This is something that's done because this has become basically the norm. Oh, certain black people go somewhere, they got to put on a show. They got to act a fool. So whatever the person did was so egregious that you going to fight and get put on the do not sell list for the rest of your life. But you don't want to press charges on them? See, that's the disconnect right there. That's the same way if the drug dealer is shooting up the neighborhood and selling the kids dope, black folks will give it lip service and complain about it. But then when you ask them, hey, do you want us to go in there and arrest this dude and will you testify against him in court? Oh, no, bro, I ain't going to testify against him, bro. You know, I went to school with him, bro. We came up together, bro. But he's making your neighborhood unlivable. There's drive-bys every night where people are trying to kill him and his boys. There's a chance that one of his boys might sell your kids crack cocaine. Yeah, bro, but you know that's my dog from back in the day, dog. I'd rather live in a war zone than hold the people accountable who are making it into one. And we'll defend that. You can literally see people in the comments right now. They're angry with me for telling the truth about a situation that if we fix it, they become safer. If we get rid of these degenerates, their children can sleep safer at night. But if you say that or you say anything against these degenerate people, you are the enemy. You are the problem. The guy toting the gun, shooting up the neighborhood's not a problem. The guy selling the super meth and the fentanyl's not the problem. The murderous teens like Karmelo Anthony aren't the problem. The person who is bold enough to stand up against it and speak out honestly against it is the problem. This is not a mystery of how Black America got here. There is no missing link. We don't need Columbo. We don't need Murder, She Wrote. We don't need Sidney Poitier in the heat of the night. We don't need Denzel and Devil in a Blue Dress. It is very obvious how Black America got in this condition. And it is very obvious why Black America stays in this condition. We are out here expending resources. Black folks done gave this boy over $1 million. The same group of people who say, we ain't got no money, we broke, we need reparations. Why is it that we can always find some money to protect the damn criminal? Why is that the case? Let me get this super chat. Watch, Florida fight turns into a riot. Bunch of white folks fighting like you asked. Stop making it about race, bozo. No, it's about race for sure. Here's the thing. And I love this comment. I love this comment. Here's the difference. White folks erupt into a riot. You're not going to have white folks in the comments talking about, yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. Yeah, I would have did the same thing. Yeah, they shouldn't go to jail because they was defending themselves. Come on, bro. You acting like I'm not Black and I didn't grow up in the hood, man. The thing that makes the hood, the thing that makes Black America, it extra dangerous, more dangerous than any other cultural enclave of America, is the fact that Black folks who know better and would never participate in that type of behavior make excuses for it. If someone's on the corner selling drugs, take their ass to jail. How many? 20? Give them 20. Give them 10 years. I don't care. You need me to testify that he was over there selling drugs? Yeah, I saw him. He was over there. People was rolling up. He was handing them dope through the window, car window. That's what I'm going to do. That's what 99.9% of people in America going to do. But not in the Black community. In the Black community, they're going to say, oh, that's my homeboy. Yeah, we went to school together. Yeah. He from the hood like me. Then when he gets arrested, they going to put on T-shirts. They going to say, free the homie fast. Free a real one. And you're just looking at these people like, bro, your mama was addicted to crack. You done came full circle to the point where you are defending someone who is condemning other children to other people to the same fate. That's what makes us special, especially ignorant. We defend our criminal class. We fight and give millions of dollars to keep our criminals out of jail when we know they committed the crime. I can understand if it was truly a head scratcher. We don't know whether they did it or not. No. We will know they did it. And we will find some reason in our mind to justify and rationalize the animalistic behavior. I'm telling you, why do you think when Black folks get money, they move away from other Blacks? Because you'll have some money, someone will gun you down for what you got. Not a single parade will happen. Not a single protest will happen. Hey, did Black people do a protest when Pop Smoke got viciously murdered? After some Black men saw his address on a live stream and went to his home and invaded his house and killed him? I'll wait. When the little baby, they were shooting in the house and they shot through the wall and murdered the little baby, shot the little baby in the head. I want to say that was in Minnesota or something like that. I forgot the exact place. Did Black people go march and protest? They out all in the street for Karmelo Anthony. But are they ever in the street for any of the victims of Black on Black violence? Never. Do they say, man, we gonna donate the family $1 million through GoFundMe? In the Black community, if your Black son or daughter get killed by another Black person, You get to go stand on the side of the road with a sign and beg for people to come to a car wash to pay for their funeral. But let murderous Karmelo stab an innocent white kid at a track meet. And all of a sudden, black folks got millions of dollars to spare. Millions of we are good at crowdfunding. We are good at crowdfunding. The only problem is we just do it for all the wrong reasons. We do it for all the wrong reasons. Just like these lawyers. Just like these lawyers who have assembled. I call them the Black Fatigue Avengers. Just like these lawyers who have rallied around Karmelo Anthony. Do you know how many black people are unjustly imprisoned right now? You don't see them rallying around any of those people. All they're doing is paying white folks to pretend to be racist and looking for a criminal to sympathize with and help remain above the law. That's basically all there is. You know how many people wish they had a good lawyer right now? You know how many people would be willing to give a little something for some real legal representation? I'm sure there has to be millions around the country. Nah, we gonna go defend this dude, Karmelo. And that's why I'm calling this Karmelo culture. Let's look at these lawyers.
Stand with Karmelo Coalition. And this email announced 6 lawyers will conduct a fresh, independent review of the trial record. It goes on to say, quote, "We recognize the profound loss suffered by one young man's family and the uncertainty facing another. And we extend our respect to everyone whose lives have been forever changed by these events." So this team of lawyers, they will be serving pro bono, according to the email. Now, we're going to go through what makes this team so high profile and potentially high powered in just a moment. But first, I do want to go through some of these new images that we have in this case.
I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. Okay.
This is body cam video from one of the first officers to confront Karmelo Anthony after he stabbed Austin Metcalf at this track meet. This body cam captures the moment that Anthony made this now infamous statement, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." And you heard it clear as day on that body cam.
Admitted to it.
Has released a large amount of evidence that was shown to jurors during the trial, including body cam footage and surveillance video. Now, because cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, the public is now only getting to see what the jury saw. Now, here is the only known video of the moment where Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf under the tent. And it's from a camera that was mounted on top of the football stadium where this track meet was going on in April of 2025. Now, the state argued that Karmelo had no reason to be under Austin's team's tent. Now, the defense argued that Karmelo knew someone there and he was welcomed under the tent. But what happens next is Austin Metcalf reportedly tells Karmelo Anthony to leave. And when Anthony didn't, words were exchanged and Metcalf puts his hands on Karmelo and shoves him. And you can see, it's very blurry, but you can see that shove in the surveillance video. Now, that shove was met with a stabbing from Karmelo Anthony. He pulled a knife out from his backpack and stabbed Anthony.
Hey, that guy was about to say Anthony Metcalf. But look, this black folks, he pushed him, so he deserves to die. Now, there was black people fighting all up in that Carnival cruise ship, right? But if one of them had gotten killed, everybody, black and white, would agree, look, y'all just got into a fight on a cruise ship. No one needs to die, right? There were punches being thrown. Listen to me, hear me. If you ask the black person, did the black people on those cruise ships, okay, let's go here. Let's go here. You ask the black folks, this is a fight at Disneyland. Do any of these people deserve to die? Look, thank goodness this black man stepped up like a real man to do something. Do any of these people deserve to die? If you ask black people, do any of these people deserve to die? They will tell you to your face, no. None of these people deserve. Look, he didn't hit a woman. Do you think any of these people deserve to die in this situation? 100% of black people will tell you no. But then there's about 50% of those black people who, if you showed them the Austin Metcalf video, they will then turn around and say that Austin Metcalf deserved to die. And he did way less than this. If you're growing up in black America, you are conditioned to not be shocked by savage behavior. But now we want to believe that, oh, this kid was scared because he got pushed. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. Black people are the ones who made the song Nuck If You Buck. Black people made the song Nuck If You Buck. Every violent rap song we done made. You want me to believe that the same people who could look at this situation at Disneyland and say no one deserved to die, now all of a sudden believe that Austin Metcalf deserved to die for just pushing somebody? You must be out your damn mind. That's why a lot of black people on social media don't like me, because I don't play the stupid games that black people try to play with other groups of people. That's why it's going to take black people to stand up against this mess and call it out. Because we not only know the culture, we grew up in the culture. I'm telling you, these black folks will look at these people squabbling at this Disneyland and say, yeah, it wasn't nothing. It was no big thing, just a little squabble. But those same black folks will say, man, yeah, Austin Metcalf deserved to die for pushing Karmelo Anthony. No, he deserved to get his ass beat. That's what he deserved. He deserved for Karmelo Anthony to whoop his ass. Hell, I would say he even deserved for Karmelo Anthony to go get some of his other teammates and come back and they all whoop their ass. All that, I'm okay with all that. Whatever, it's kids. They doing kid shit. But what I'm not going to condone is someone going above and beyond what is necessary, killing someone, then a bunch of grown folks making an excuse for it. Now, these lawyers are supposed to be upstanding members of the community, not perpetuators of animalistic behavior, perpetuators and defenders of that. It's just shameful. It's shameful. $100%, Donald. The kid had a knife at a school event. There's no justification for that. But these lawyers, let me tell you something. There's two ways that race hustlers win. And that's why people get into the business of race hustling, because you really can't lose. Right? It wasn't a box cutter. Look at this ignorant lady. It was a box cutter for your information. No, it wasn't. It's so funny. People still trying to they're still trying to convince us of things that they know are not true. It was a knife. It was a knife. But the point I'm making is, when you become a race hustler, there is no loss. If these lawyers get Karmelo off and get the verdict overturned, in their mind, they win. If they don't get the verdict overturned, they still win, because then they could just say, oh, yeah, these white folks are just racist. We've confirmed that this was a racist attack on Karmelo and that he was railroaded by the justice system in Texas. Now they bring in more money for more gullible black people. Really, I'll call them gullible losers who are looking for excuses for why their life didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. And that's what pisses me off. And that's why, to all the black people out there, like, if you want a real life, a real chance at a life, you got to get your kids away from these ghetto hoochie-fi blacks. You got to get your kids away from these people. These people, it's like the Bible. Remember when Jesus was talking to the Pharisee, he said, hypocrites, you do not wish to go in, but yet you stop up the doorway and won't allow those who want to go in to go in. And that's what I say to these black folks. Hypocrites, you don't want a peaceful, prosperous neighborhood where you can raise a family. But not only do you not want that, you won't allow the black people who do want that to have it, and will operate in a totally degenerate, hypocritical, animalistic way to prevent them from having it. You will not only do crime yourself, but when you get past the point where you want to commit crime, you will then defend the younger generation as they commit crime and display degenerate behavior. No one's lying on black people. No, my wife is black. She's black. She's black, and if I told her we gonna move to the ghetto, she'll be the first. Hell no. I ain't moving over there. She'll say, I ain't moving around those niggas. She'll say it. Any black person with sense will tell you that. That's the funny part. It's like my granny used to say. My granny always used to say, it's going to tell on you before you tell on it. See, most black people will not admit that there's a problem in the black community. But the issue here is that every single day the community is displaying exactly what the problem is in the black community. Y'all calling someone a coon for telling the truth about a situation that exists in our community that we all know is true. You can call me a coon, but you can't tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Look, I give y'all the link. Here go the link. Look, any black person come up here, tell me I'm lying. Come up here and be like, you lying, because black people this, that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're a bootlicker. Whose boot am I licking? I'm a bootlicker because I want black folks to acknowledge that they have a problem in their community that needs to be fixed, which in turn makes the black community safer for black people to live in it. I'm a bootlicker for that. You sound stupid. The same people calling somebody a bootlicker, those are the ones with the white wife. Those are the ones don't live in the black community. They want to keep the black community a shithole so they could tell somebody, yeah, man, I'm from 65th and Crenshaw, and that person be scared and think they tough. I don't want people to think I'm tough because I grew up on 21st and Martin Luther King in the hood. I want people to say, damn, man, I went over to 21st and Martin Luther King. Man, it look good over there. It's peaceful over there. And I want there to still be black faces. Now, black people, you run into a black person from another state. Yo, man, I'm from Chicago, man. I grew up in Whoop-de-Whoop Project. You go to that place right now, it's all gentrified, all white people now. The projects got torn down years ago. And to make it better, they had to remove the black people from there. I don't want that to be the fate of black America. Do you know how embarrassing it is for you to live in a community for generations and the community be violent and ignorant, and the minute they gentrify and get you out of there, the community improves? You go to some of these ghetto areas. You go to some of these ghetto areas in America where the population was predominantly black. From the moment they start raising the rent and forcing black people to move out of that area, the crime rate goes down. I kid you not. I grew up on 21st and Martin Luther King in Long Beach, California. It used to be a all 100% totally black area. Now you go over there, it's probably not even 10, it's probably 10 to 15% black. 85% something else. The crime rate is significantly lower. Way, way lower. You could walk around over there at night and not even worry about getting shot. You couldn't do that when I was younger. You couldn't walk around over there at 1 o'clock in the morning without something happening to you. But we don't want to accept the fact. The reason why the problems cease or stop once we leave is because we're the problem. We're the problem. And guess what? Wherever we go, the problems follow us. Now, is that because we're inherently bad or evil? No. It's because we're taking the same toxic, self-destructive mindset everywhere we go. A gang of black people moved to Vegas, Las Vegas. Now, as bad as Las Vegas was with the mob and all that, when black people traveled to Las Vegas in large numbers, the crime rate skyrocketed. I'm not joking and I'm not lying. Black people started to move to Arizona, Phoenix, Tucson, right? What you think happened to the crime rate out there? It skyrocketed. See, the beauty about what I'm saying to you is that everything I'm condemning you and accusing you of, it only takes 1 second to change it. All you got to do is change your mindset. I'm not going to defend criminals anymore because I don't want to live in an area that's overrun by crime. I'm not going to display degenerate behavior anymore because I don't want my kids doing that when they get older. All you have to do is want to. And the problem fixes itself. The problem fixes itself. Hey, every black person, you a coon, I gave them the link. You think they clicked it? Nope. Because deep down inside, they know that what I'm saying is true. Many of them have probably said the same thing in a different way or in a different setting. But because I'm saying it on here, oh, you a traitor. Traitor to what? To say that someone is a traitor is to imply that there is something for the person to be loyal to. Here's my question to everybody black on this stream. How can you be loyal to a group of people who aren't even loyal to themselves? How can you be loyal to a group of people who collectively aren't even loyal to themselves? I'll wait. Loyalty means I have to raise my kids in a neighborhood where they might get shot or robbed. Hear this person. I love my people. Love don't love nobody, player. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. A lot of black people don't even love other black people. What they love is the ability to operate in an animalistic fashion without consequence. Something that is a characteristic of the black community. I love the way I'm able to behave. The drug dealer loves the black community because he could sell drugs and he ain't got to worry about nobody telling on him. The murderer loves the black community because he can murder and kill and nobody gonna say nothing. Everybody gonna say, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing. No, I'm not assuming anything. It's a lived experience. You're assuming just like white people do. White people ain't assuming. They know you. White people know niggas very well. They the ones who let you off the plantation. Believe that they know you. White folks know black people better than black people know themselves. Everything you do, all the culture, white rednecks gave it to you. How you think they don't know you? You ever heard of the Hatfields and McCoys? The longest running blood feud in American history. The Hatfields and McCoys. I don't know if they was up in the Ozark Mountains, but they was killing each other up like it was going out of style. That's where the black gang culture came from. The old, you ever saw the movie Gangs in New York? The old beefs, right? Black gang culture evolved from all that. They know you. Everything you do, they taught you how to do it. But see, here's the difference with them. They evolved out of it because they said this is no longer conducive to prosperity. This is no longer conducive to raising our families and dominating the North American theater. See, they let it go or transformed it into something that they could profit from, like the police station, the police departments or the fire departments, this type of thing, the water department. You still haven't learned to do that. It's 2026 and black people have not learned how to parlay their negatives into positive, how to turn the negative aspects of their culture into something positive. People thought we were going to do that with rap music. Oh, well, they'll take all the beef from the street and they'll just start banging on wax. So nobody will get hurt, nobody will get killed. Shit. We started killing people over the songs. You supposed to take the beef from the street, take it into music, and use the music as the tool to go at your enemies so nobody has to die. We took it from the street, put it in the music, took it from the music, took it back to the street, and that's where drill music came from. I'm not lying. It's to the point now when somebody say, oh, I'm a rapper, you just wonder like, how long are they going to live? It's almost like saying you're a rapper is now a death sentence. You're basically guaranteed to get killed by other black people. You saw what just happened to Julio Fulio. The only thing that's different from us and other people is other groups of people learn to evolve out of that. You think the triads and all that in Chinatown, you think those people are still like doing the same nickel and dime hustling, robberies and drug dealing? Maybe to some extent. But for the most part, these groups are going commercial. They're going corporate. You look on YouTube, you got mob bosses. People didn't kill 20 and 30 and 50 people. Now they got a podcast and a brand of wine and all these different business ventures using the negatives, right? Turning the negative into something positive. When the blacks gonna do that? Even the Hells Angels have now trademarked their brand and they get paid when people try to use their likeness. When people try to like make a movie about them or something similar to what they did. When black folks gonna do that? I think I saw somebody has something called Cripa-Cola, a Crip gang inspired cola drink. How long did that last? But I'm wrong. I'm wrong because you want some murderous kid to get out of jail. What would the benefit of Karmelo getting out of jail be? That's what I like to ask you. Can anyone tell me what the benefit of letting Karmelo Anthony out of jail would be? Like, what benefit would it be? Oh, I'll be able to feel good about myself. I'll be able to sleep good tonight knowing another killer has been set free back into the black community. I'm not going to lie to you. If Karmelo Anthony got out again, I wouldn't be surprised if he killed again. I'm being real. Keep your hands to yourself. So, official BJ TV. Keep your hands to yourself. So what BJ TV is telling me is he believes all these black folks who didn't keep their hands to themselves deserve to die that day. That's what you saying, BG? BJ? This is what I'm talking about. Black folks gonna say stupid stuff, and that they're totally gonna contradict in the future. According to BJTV, every person involved in this brawl deserved to die. Every person here deserved to get impaled through the heart until they cease to exist. It's BS. Keep your hands to yourself. We the main ones acting a fool in public, beating on each other. So if BJ's kid pushed somebody, his kid deserves to get murdered in cold blood. Do you realize how stupid you sound? I wish you would click the link and come up here and say that. The link is in the comments. Click it, bring you right up. Keep your hands to yourself, sounding like a female, a dummy, sounding stupid. Do you know this nigga didn't have no daddy in his life? Keep your hands to yourself. Nigga probably switch and swing his damn wrist left and right when he walk. That is the most feminine thinking ever. And the reason why that type of thinking is permitted among women is because mostly women ain't gonna do shit. Women are the most gangsters, violent, non-violent people on earth. They too scary to do shit most of the time. But run their mouth. That's why when women say stuff like that, nobody takes it serious. They ain't gonna do shit. But when you got grown ass men saying that, keep your hands to yourself, bro. We know you taking up the booty. Keep your hands to, like, bro, who raised you, bro? Who raised this dude? Who raised this dude? I'm just asking a very simple question of Black America. If Austin Metcalf deserved to die, right? If Austin Metcalf deserved to die for putting his hands on Karmelo, do these people deserve to die for putting their hands on each other at Disneyland? See, that's the catch right there. See, because if you make that rule for Austin, then that rule has to apply to everybody, don't it? But they'll sit in your face and tell you, well, Austin pushing Karmelo, he deserved to die. But these black people acting a fool at Disneyland, nah, that ain't really a big deal. It's just a little squabble. 100% Alberto. It was obvious and deliberate, and I believe it was premeditated. I believe that Austin Metcalf just so had the unfortunate luck, the misfortune of running into Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony walked around with this mindset like, if any white person ever does something to me, I'm going to kill him. That's the Carmelo culture. I call it the Carmelo culture. And to see that lawyers who take an oath are jumping up to defend this criminal is crazy. It's blowing my mind right now. Austin 316. Whatever you want to say. But Austin is not the one crying about Carmelo Anthony being in prison. Austin a hoe, but I'm crying like a bitch because Carmelo's in jail. Someone I don't even know. Someone who murdered someone else. You think I'm going to be out here getting my blood pressure up over a killer? Hell no. Jason Bourne said, I'm black, but I'm suffering from black fatigue. Our queens are living in the WAP phase. Their next phase is tarot card reading on YouTube. Stay strong. Stay strong, kings. The black community is descending into psychosis. I told everybody if Kamala Harris did not get elected, that the black community would descend into psychosis and mysticism. We will go back to throwing bones and shells in a cup and claiming that gives us the power to see the future. Because black people, if Democrats are not in power, they don't know what to think. They don't know what to do. We are the only group in America who, if a Democrat is not elected, we basically forfeit 4 years of our political mobility to wait for Democrats to get put back in office. We ain't going to do it. We ain't going to work with him because we don't like him. It don't matter what he offers and say he going to give us. We don't like him. If that ain't the single mama mindset, I don't know what is. I've seen women pass up a good dude because I don't like him. This dude's well off. Dude's paid. He's ready to have a family and settle down, and he could take care of that family. I don't like him. When you start hearing grown-ass black men talk about like and dislike, he was raised by a single mother. Really, probably, he was raised by a hood rat. When somebody bases everything they do on like or dislike, and ain't it crazy? You would think that if a group of people cared so much about being liked, you would think that would have some effect on the way they behave themselves in public. The same black people, the same black folks who do stuff like this in front of kids at Disneyland, will have the audacity to say,
he apparently gets into
"Oh, nobody likes us." I wonder why.
As a woman in a white tank top spits
I wonder
in
why.
his face and spits in his top.
I wonder why.
A woman in a white.
Look how these people, and shout out to the sister in the back. Look how these people looking at these fools in the background. Look how they looking at them. Like, bro, are y'all, dude? They probably set a record. Because I couldn't tell you when is the last time I heard about a fight breaking out at Disneyland.
Tank top spits in his face and then he punches her. And then
the woman in the tank top spit in this dude's face and he took off on her. Who acts like that, bro? Why is a grown-ass woman spitting in someone's face? Nobody likes us. I wonder why. They didn't invite no black people to the party. I wonder why. Shit ain't no secret. And me personally, the way I am, I'm the type of who will reject you from coming to the party more so based on your mindset than what you actually do. I'm not going to uninvite you to the party because some black people got in a fight at Disneyland. I'm going to uninvite you because you're saying that it's excused. Like there's a justifiable reason for it. Yeah, neither will Karmelo. He'll be in jail for 35 years. Now, I ain't no self-hater. You're the self-hater. If you think I'm a self-hater, that means you're a self-hater. Because you think that being black condemns you to living in bad communities. You think being black made you preordained to be in a low state of existence. That's the self-hater right there. Me, I'm speaking all positivity. Let's get these animals out of our community so we can raise our families in peace and prosperity. Let's make the black community a place where people move to when they get some money, as opposed to being a place that people move from as fast as they can once they get some money. Let's be real. You don't got any, I live in LA, Long Beach. You don't see no celebrities, no NBA players, none of that living in the black area. They all live where the whites at. Manhattan Beach, Malibu, Santa Monica. They all live in the white areas. Why is that? Why is that? You think that's because they hate black people and they just don't want to be around black people? No. Many of them are from the hood in LA. People like Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, right? Paul Pierce. They're all from the hood, but when they move back to Cali, they don't move into the hood. Why? Why? Look at this rapper boy, P&B Rock. Came to LA, went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Black people came, blew his brains out just to take his jewelry. Went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Excited to try some, some food from LA. Black folks hunted him down, killed him just to take his jewelry. Same thing with Pop Smoke. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And you condemn me. Oh, you're a self-hater. This, that, and the third. That's not going to change anything. Nah, that shit ain't got nothing to do with poverty. Plenty of poor people in the world. Black people been poor since poor was a thing, and we were very peaceful. Black folks was poor, didn't have nothing coming out of slavery, and crime was virtually non-existent in the black community. Stop poverty, please. That's like saying that people looted during the George Floyd riots because of poverty. Come on now. These people say anything. It's poverty. Karmelo killed Austin because of poverty. Come on, man. Karmelo killed Austin because of poverty. Okay, I guess that makes sense to somebody somewhere. But yeah, this Karmelo culture, it ain't gonna cut it. These race hustling lawyers, they know exactly what they're doing. But if you thought Carmelo Anthony's sentence was going to get overturned, somebody told you wrong, punk. Y'all ever saw Dragonfly on Martin? Somebody told you wrong, punk. That's y'all. If y'all think Carmelo's about to get out.
Chest. And again, it was a wound so severe, a stab wound to the heart, that the medical examiner said there is no way Austin Metcalf could have survived. In fact, the medical examiner said if there was an operating table right there with a surgeon, it is not likely that Austin Metcalf would have survived that injury.
So let me show y'all how dumb Shelby is. If you ending poverty would end lots of theft, robbery, shit like that. Bro, listen. I watch black folks go in Walmart, walk right past the milk, cereal, eggs, cheese, and bread. Walk right past the cake aisle. Walk right past the canned goods aisle, the vegetable aisle, the frozen food aisle. Walk right to electronics, grab a freaking 65-inch TV, put in a basket, and roll up out the store with it. See, what you're saying makes no sense because you're dumb. You're saying this is a poverty issue. When the people who you're saying are in poverty, when they go to steal and kill, when they go steal, they stealing a gang of stuff that's not essentials, right? Then when they go kill, 9 times out of 10, they dress down in their best. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm doing this because I'm running around in rags with holes in my socks. I'm killing because I'm murdering and robbing because I have nothing else to do. That's bull crap. You're making excuses. And that's what we do. Well, if this was the situation, there would be less problems because it's, they're poor. So it's like when Obama used to lie and say that giving black people jobs was going to lower crime rates. Crime went up under Obama. Obama had a decent unemployment. His unemployment numbers were pretty good. But why did crime go up? Now Brandon Johnson is over in Chicago saying the same shit. Yeah, if we give them jobs, that will reduce the crime. No, it won't. No, it won't. Because someone who wants to kill and be murderous and run around the street shooting at people and doing whatever it is and stealing, they're going to do that no matter what you do. Because their stealing and their theft and their murderous mindset is all rooted in trying to prove something to somebody. That's what it's about. They're trying to prove something to somebody. Shut up, Brandon. You're hurting my feelings. Shut up. You benefit from the ancestors' fight. You're pathetic yourself. So look, me calling black people to action, me telling black people they need to do better and conduct themselves in an appropriate manner, that's humiliating the ancestors. But Pookie and Ray Ray smoking crack, smoking fentanyl, robbing, shooting and murdering people who look like them, abusing our women, none of that shames the ancestors. But me sitting over here pointing it out in an effort to stop it is what's going to shame the ancestors. Bro, you sound stupid. You sound 100% dumb. Like, but this is why the black community is where it is. These people really believe that they're saying something profound. They believe that they're doing something right and just and virtuous by criticizing and condemning the person who speaks out against the negative things that happen in the black community. But we have this thing in the black community where you got a bunch of people who think they're smart, but they're dumb. They think they're smart, but they're really dumb as hell. Every black person, if you ask them, are you smart? Yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, I'm smart, but they're really dumb. Many are really dumb. They think they're highly intelligent and got everything figured out. Soon as you put them to the test, dumb as hell. Dumb as hell. Look, I want y'all to see this. Let me see. And every single day, you go on YouTube or social media, and there is proof being posted. Proof that these people are not as smart as they think they are. There's proof every day that these people are nowhere near as smart or intelligent as they think they are. This is the index card challenge. Read the index card. Now, before she reads this index card, I'm going to read it, right? So you know that I'm capable of reading. I know how to read, right? So the index card says the deity had a premonition of the impending cataclysmic event, right? These are the people y'all arguing with on the internet. I know Karmelo didn't do it because them boys was jumping them. Yeah, these people think they're smart. They think that when they see something, what they see or what they're pretending to see is valid. Their deduction of the events is valuable. Like it's accurate and it's true and it makes total sense. That's the biggest problem in the black community. You got a bunch of people who are not smart enough to know that they don't know everything. A bunch of people who can't step outside of themselves and say, you know, I'm not like the sharpest tool in the shed. Maybe I should wait for the facts before I comment on this. Now let's listen to her.
Deity had a premonition of the impending apocalyptic event. The deity had a premonition of the impending apocalyptic event.
Read the index card.
We've been warning the world for over a decade.
Promotion.
Depraved members of the elite at Karmelo, utterly obsessed with consuming child. We've been dismissed as tinfoil hat wearing.
Read the index card.
The rich and national identified.
The veterinarian identified an unusually aggressive parasitic infestation. These the black women on the internet arguing justice for Karmelo.
Unusual, aggressive, prolific infection.
Hiding right there.
For
in plain sight.
retronunciation.
Read the index card.
The veterinarian identified an unusual,
back to the Epstein
aggressive,
files. The world is finally catching up.
infestation.
Read the
Hope
index
you were
card.
feeling
The
better.
mean,
Did we
academic,
analyze
and
the
visual-
jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and ginger lemongrass.
Read the
Thank
index
you
card.
so
The
much. Super
DDD
cool.
had a
Beef jerky,
promotion of the
delicious.
impending
JoJo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. We'll walk the jerky.
Read the index card.
The diary had a premonition of the impending apocalyptic event. The diary had a premonition of the.
This kid is asked.
Read the index card.
This kid is.
Read this word.
This kid is.
Read this word.
Zelma. I learned
Zebra?
cursive in 3rd grade.
Read this word. Hey, the word up on there. You gotta go to another call. Read this word.
This cursive, I can't read cursive.
It's a Z or a Q. You tell me.
What that say? Yeah.
Go ahead and read the index card.
Okay. The sensational ratatouille enhanced their palate and dining experience.
Beautiful.
Okay, so for the sake of content purposes, I need you to actually get it wrong. So we're gonna try it again. All right.
I promise you, we go talk to that guy right now and be like, you think Karmelo Anthony is guilty or innocent? He'll be like, yeah, that fool is guilty.
Each of the kids a 3x5 index card and ask them to use it for
forget this. I'm trying to, but this is what I'm saying. These people, I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I know what's right from wrong. I'm a good judge of character and all that. Girl, you can't even read
This
basic
kid
words.
is asking students to read a specific sentence and then to tell them what they've comprehended out of that sentence. And boy, the kids are struggling.
Read the index card for me.
She wore a suit, clothes that were. Who's this for?
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat gauche. All right.
Extraordinary, but somewhat. Gertrude?
Now explain what that means.
I don't know.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were extraordinary, whatever, bro, but somewhat huge.
What does that mean?
She wore a lot. Wait, she wore. Bro, I don't know, bro. Can you take the card back, please?
She wore a. Oh, baby. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were. Bitch, I don't know that word. I don't even know how to read. I don't know why I did.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary, but somewhat gauche. All right, now what does that mean?
I have no idea. Like his clothes is nice or something like that. She wore a. I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say. I can't read it. Can't read it.
So you might be looking at this and say, well, Brandon, what does this have to do with the situation with Karmelo Anthony? Well, what it has to do with the situation is these niggas are dumb. And then they go into the world and they assess situations with that same ignorant mind that can't even figure out what those words say, even though they've been sitting in school for 12, 11, 10 years. They approach the world with that same level of ignorance. I don't know. So when you don't understand the way something works, you have to operate based on what? Feelings. How does this make me feel? And your feelings now become the judge and jury when it comes to any situation. I don't really understand the law on self-defense in Texas. I can't read, so I can't go and read the law and understand, right? And even if I can read it as far as like word recognition, I don't comprehend. I may be able to read or identify words, but I can't comprehend what they mean, right? So because they can't go read, when somebody like me gets onto this platform and says, okay, yes, you may feel like Karmelo stabbed Austin out of self-defense, but based on the law, there is a certain criteria that has to be met for a killing to be accepted as being done, for a murder to to be for it to be accepted as being done in self-defense, right? So you still don't understand that. Now, normally I'll be able to refer you to like some documents or some legal precedent where you can then go read and say, oh, I get it. So if someone push bro, he has a right to defend himself, but with equal force, right? And the law breaks everything down. But if you can't read, if you have no reading comprehension skills, let's be honest. You have to walk around in the darkness of ignorance. And while walking around, like, okay, let me give you this. Let me ask y'all a question. If you walk around in the dark, what is the only way you're going to be able to make it from one point to the next? How do you get through a house that's pitch black? How can you walk through a house that's pitch black without tripping or falling? You have to feel your way through. You have to put your hands on the wall to feel the wall, so you know that you're not going to walk and like just, walk into a wall damn near. That's what people are doing. They're in darkness. They illiterate, can't read. So they have to feel their way through everything. And sometimes your feelings can betray you. That's real. They're feeling their way through life. And then they wonder why the world is so confusing to them. Well, you didn't get the skills necessary to be able to understand why what Karmelo Anthony did was actually murder and not self-defense. And that's not our fault. That's your mama and daddy fault. Because I know I'm quick to throw my daughter something and be like, read this. I want to just make sure you getting this good old education my taxpayer dollars is paying for. And that's why I tell everyone, you should just approach everything in America from the perspective of like money. Everything is like you're paying for everything. Are you getting what you paid for? I think if black people approach America like that, right? I think we would have a much better experience in this country. Put race and all that to the side. Am I getting something of equal or greater value in exchange for what I'm giving? Their problem solved right there. So we got me, him are my pronouns. Same people that claim to have built everything can't even read an instruction manual on how to put a table together, but they built the world. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Even though there is something called a regression in intellect. Because what I'll say to that is this: the Romans built advanced sewage systems. They built like some of the greatest buildings in architecture, like in history. 1,000 years later, their descendants were shitting in pots and throwing it into the same river that they drank water out of. So I get you, but yeah, it can be lost. But what I will say is true about what you're saying is there's really no excuse, because they live in America. In America, there's like this progression of like knowledge, right? There's this progression of like information. We're always advancing when it comes to like, our intelligence, our capabilities, and our technology. So yeah, you're right. I have to say you're right about that. There is no excuse to be getting dumber in America. Like my thing is this: when I was a kid, I would go sit in the library and read a book, right? I loved Greek mythology. I love reading about World War II because my grandfather was in World War II. He was stationed in Pearl Harbor. So I would read a lot of Greek mythology. Obviously, when I was a kid, you start off with the R.L. Stein books. You move on to the Stephen King, right? some people like reading the Rainbow Six books. I used to read Lewis L'Amour Western novels because my grandpa liked reading those. We used to pick up books and read, and so then you learn words. And we didn't have no cell phones. Now, these kids are reading over 1,000 words a day on their cell phone, but their comprehension level is just totally gone. Their comprehension is so bad. It's really sad. It's sad. But my shout out to you for the $5 holler. Hey guys, I want to remind you before we get out of here, we do have a $5 challenge. We have a goal where we're trying to get 10 super chats of $5 or more before the show ends. If you help us reach that, I appreciate it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Over 70% of you are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel because I think over half of my subscribers are black, but a lot of them are like the type of black people who are not accountable. So they'll reject the videos. So if they reject the videos when they're initially dropped, the video won't reach you unless you're subscribed. So if you ever want to see this channel again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, and we could be buddies because we're going places. We're going places on this channel. But yeah, right, 100%. Spirit Airlines, Houston Rodeo, Carnival Cruise. What do they all have in common? Look, I'm not over here to try to make excuses for nobody. If you need an excuse, then you already know you're doing something wrong. But facts. Look, black folks is just as tired and have just as much black fatigue as anybody else. The only difference is we're the ones who could speak out against it without these folks hollering, y'all racist. Hey, shout out to Travis Nichols for the $19.99, the $20 holler. Appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who's watching. If you cannot contribute, please give me a share, subscribe, whatever. But I want to get into some more of these. I wish I would have
read this word.
Formatted this a little better.
Go ahead and read.
Come on, man. They trying now.
This is a super fun trick that I.
Now they trying to. Now they mad because
read the index card.
They mad because people getting exposed to not know how to read. So now they want to change. Now they want to try to make new index card challenges to flood the algorithm. So when you type in index card challenge, it don't pop up on these folks who can't read. Oh yeah, this is Amanda Mookie. That is so sad, man. I get if there's a word or two you don't understand, but for these people to be this damn dumb, but we'll get out of school and just be like, think they know everything. Oh, this guy got some good ones, I think. Hold on. They think they know every damn thing, but can't even read basic words.
She wore a shoe. Gen Z can't read. I'm talking to teachers from my high school who are saying, we're not reading books anymore. We're reading excerpts of books. Gen Z is utilizing TikTok summaries of books to write the damn report.
Read the index card.
She wore a shoelet of clothes that were exaggerating, but some were gosh. What does that mean?
You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't know. We might genuinely be toast too.
Reciprocated emotional dependency.
Okay.
I was perusing my Instagram feed.
Read the index card.
The dog's unwearing loyalty, exemplified in unreciprocated emotional dependency.
Okay. Yeah. What's that mean?
It means I don't know.
Read the index card.
The dog's unwavering loyalty, exemplified.
Yeah, she was right there.
Exemplified and unreciprocated emotional dependency.
What does that mean?
Exemplified means like Is that even a word?
This lad has a series of
I mean, I'll give it to her. At least she had word recognition skills. She got every word right. She just didn't know what the hell it meant. And see, and let me tell you something. Black people, right? So say you're around your peer group, like your age mates, right? Black folks will be ignorant as hell, not knowing how to read, and then looking to ignorant Hispanics, whites, and Asians for validation. Oh, no, yeah, because I feel you. Like, what the F, man? He shouldn't be in jail. Here's the difference. Those people will inevitably be forced to gain those skills as they enter into the workforce, or hell, they could go work for their mama and daddy. You Mexican, you go work construction with your dad. You white, hey, I go clean pools with my dad, whatever, right? Or I work in my family's business, so I'm not really like, me not knowing how to read is not going to have like a major impact on me. You know, I can always just, you know, exist under the safety net, you know, of my family's wealth or accomplishments. Most black people don't have that ability. Most black people are like, I gotta go over here to Chipotle and like make Chipotle bowls for a living. Then you don't know how to read, so they put the order in. You don't know how to read it, so you mess the order up. Now the customer tripping. Now you got two black people at each other's throat in damn McDonald's parking lot because you done got somebody order wrong because you can't read. And when they say, you messed up my order, you're not going to say, damn, I can't read, man. What you expect? Your ego's going to get involved. It's going to take over. And y'all going to be out there going for blood in the parking lot trying to drag each other to the dirt because you dumb and can't read and this person is ignorant too and got a bad temper. That's real. Moving forward, moving forward 100% disagrees. The link is always in the comments. Y'all, you know you could come up here. I disagree with you. But we know you really do agree. You just have to protest.
videos asking people to read a sort of obscure but totally understandable sentence using words like deity, exemplified, silhouette, and gauche. I can understand people not knowing the word gauche,
right,
so
gauche,
we will forgive that one. But not the...
Yeah, the word gauche, basically means like inappropriate, right? That's what gauche means. Like you're wearing something that may be like, it may be like really like provocative or like it says on the card, extraordinary. Like, wow, that's amazing. But it's not appropriate for that occasion. It's like a woman wearing a really nice suit to her wedding. No, gauche would be that a woman is supposed to be wearing a dress at her wedding. The man is supposed to be wearing the suit. Even though the suit looks really nice, it's like inappropriate. That's not made for this occasion. Like you ever seen a girl walk in hella sexy with a banging ass little dress, but she's at church and the back out and the little booty cheeks hanging out? Like that, gauche. It may be nice. And for some setting, it may be perfect. But for this setting, it's not appropriate. That's what gauche means. Or that, at least that's what I understand it mean. I'll look up the meaning of it. Shit. Hold on. What's the meaning? Gauche meaning. I want you to learn on this channel. Go teach your kids what gauche means immediately. Okay. We'll all find out what gauche means. Okay, so gauche means one, the first meaning is left-handed. The second meaning is winding, twisted, warped, applied to curves and surfaces. And then three, this is what I was saying. This would be in the context of clothing. Lacking grace and perceptivity in social situations. Crude, tactless, socially inept. See, that's what I'm talking about. Just like inappropriate. Like it's not tasteful, right? It's like you at a winery asking them if they sell malt liquor. That's exactly what I said. How was I wrong? You guys are ignorant. Stop trying to play. Stop trying to troll me. That's exactly what I said. It's crude and tactless. It's lacking grace. Like you're not reading the room, basically. What you like, and remember the context in which we're talking about it was clothing based on the index card. So you don't know what you're talking about. I do. Okay. So you don't know the word, but talking about kids who don't. I do know what I did know what it meant. And more importantly, I knew what it said. But I definitely knew what it meant. You're how old using internet lingo? Internet lingo. Gauche is not internet lingo. Oh, trolling? Oh, yeah, nah. Trolling is just, yeah, why not? There's an age limit to internet lingo. Okay. Go ahead. I don't think that Karmelo is innocent. That dude's a criminal. He's a criminal. We vote Democrat because our white Democrat masses told. Ooh, hey, let's talk about this situation over here. Y'all want to? I'm a little bit over. I'm 10 minutes over. Put a 1 in the comments if you want me to talk about the socialist takeover of New York City. Thank you, Henry Morales, for your honesty. I appreciate honest and accountable people. Not like Shelly baby. Shelly baby. Hold on one. Put a 1 in the comments if you want me to cover the socialists taking over New York. Anyway, sorry, I had a phone call. All right, we'll cover the New York situation. Okay, so the Democrat Socialists of America. There's basically this communist group called the Democratic Socialists of America. It's a wing of the Democrat Party. And these people are just a bunch of what I would call economically ignorant people who believe that socialism is going to fix America. I don't even think they believe socialism is going to take over, is going to fix America. I believe that they're using the promises of socialism to trick ignorant people into voting for them with the promise of free stuff. Everybody likes free stuff. So if you just promise people a bunch of crap that you'll never deliver, at least for a while, you will be able to convince the people to support you. So in New York, the mayor, his name is Zohran Mamdani. He won the New York mayoral election in a landslide. And he endorsed 3 different candidates for 3 different seats within the New York political apparatus. I think 2 were congressional seats and 1 was for something else, I forgot. But all 3 of the candidates that he endorsed won. And now people are saying that the Democrat Party has been taken over by its far left socialist / communist wing. Here we go.
Multiple states are holding primary elections today, with fewer than 5 months to go until the midterms. Voters are casting ballots in both Maryland and Utah, but there are also key elections happening in South Carolina and right here in New York State. CBS News political director Finn Gomez joins us from our D.C. bureau to break that all down. Finn, good morning. I know you're closely following several House elections happening in New York today. Why are they key, and what role is the newly elected Mayor Zohran Mamdani playing?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. Yeah, it's a big one in New York today. Really, the first test of whether the Mamdani political brand can travel beyond City Hall. The first major test of Zohran Mamdani's political influence since becoming mayor last year. He's endorsed candidates in 3 closely watched House Democratic primaries, including challenges, Errol, against Democratic incumbents in Manhattan and the Bronx. The mayor put his name on the line in these 3 Democratic House primaries. He's backing Brad Lander against Congressman Dan Goldman in the 10th, Lander, of course, who is the city's comptroller, Darialisa Avila Chevalier, who's the DSA candidate. He's backing her against Adriano Espaillat up in the 13th congressional district, and Claire Valdez for that open seat in the 7th. All 3 running as progressives to our Democratic Socialist candidates.
A Fox News alert. And did you feel that? A socialist earthquake overnight as 3 Zohran Mamdani-backed challengers win their Democrat primaries and drag their party even further to the left. And while Mamdani becomes the party's new kingmaker, some Democrats are preparing to fight back.
Plus, President Trump making his economic pitch in Pennsylvania as gas prices fall. But the president has a new target that he says is making it harder for you to pay at the pump.
And foreign World Cup fans obsessing over ranch. I'm not talking about a one-story home. Right. I'm talking about the dressing. May be in luck trying to get it back home. We're going to tell you about ranch back to their Wednesday morning. I'm Todd.
Coming in this morning, and Maddie, it was a socialist sweep in New York City.
That's right, Carly and Todd. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani says the results of Tuesday's primaries were the beginning of a political movement. One of the far-left candidates he backed beat a 5-term incumbent in New York's 13th congressional district. Congressman Adriano Espaillat, the chair of the Hispanic Congressional Caucus, lost his seat to Democratic Socialist Darialisa Avila Chevalier. In New York's 10th congressional district, Mamdani-backed progressive leader Brad Lander ousted Congressman Dan Goldman, who was the lead prosecutor in Trump's first impeachment trial. And in New York's 7th congressional district, another Democratic Socialist member, Claire Valdez, won the Democratic nomination. Chevalier and Lander have said they want to abolish ICE. They've also been critical of Israel. Valdez, meanwhile, wants a state takeover of utilities and housing and unions for all, and said Free Palestine was on the ballot.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, and to stand up to the billionaires.
Abolish ICE, free Palestine, organize your union, and join DSA.
What we have delivered here today is a clear mandate that the era of taking a check and cashing a check and calling it representation is over.
Outside of the Big Apple, South Carolina's State Attorney General Alan Wilson will become the Republican nominee for governor. President Trump initially endorsed Wilson's opponent, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, and she did finish first in the primary election. The president then decided to endorse Wilson and Evette in the runoff.
I believe he recognized what we've been doing for the last 10 years to support the things he was trying to accomplish with his administration. But also, I think he saw the fight that in our campaign, the energy in our campaign. And I think he likes a fighter, and I think that's what won him over. I want to thank you, Mr. President.
And in Utah, former Congressman Ben McAdams is on track to return to Congress after winning the
Okay, so you guys see there the socialists, they have won in New York. The people, I mean, these people, they're socialists. They're running on this campaign where they're telling people, well, we're going to give you free this. We're going to basically let the government run your utilities. The government's going to take over everything within New York. But the problem is they're never going to tell you how this is going to happen. Do you really want the same government that makes it impossible for you to go to the DMV and get out within 30 minutes? to run your electricity and your water and all these different things? Do you really want them in charge of like every aspect of your life, pretty much? Or do you want to like let private companies take care of these things and basically pay something to have the service provided to you, at a fair price? That's pretty much what's going on here. But of all these socialists, the one that I believe to be the most dangerous, well, not even the most dangerous, the most hilarious, is this Daraliza Chevalier chick. She's a woman who converted to Islam because her friend told her to. And she's just like another AOC, but on steroids. She serves up nothing but word salad. And when you try to connect the dots from what she's saying to what she's actually able to do, they just don't connect. I'll let you listen to her speak. And you guys tell me, are these the type of people that you want running America? Do you really, when you listen to her, do you feel like these people are going to be effective leaders?
I really think that when in a time where we are spending more money than we have ever spent on policing, in a time where policing is more militarized than it has ever been, the fact that we are still asking the question, do we feel safe, is very telling. And as someone who studies this question of safety, in my research, this question of criminality, I am someone who has looked for answers that actually bring real safety to our communities, and that is funding the programs that are actually correlated with an increased sense of safety.
So she studies safety, she studies criminality. And because she studies these two things, she asks questions about what will make us more safe. But notice she's never going to tell you what actually will make us safe. All she's gonna do is say, well, we need to get rid of the police. Here's the problem. If we get rid of the police, what do you replace that with? But a dummy who doesn't think anything through, like those people who can't read those index cards, they say, hey, I grew up in the black community. Police they hurt black people. So let's get rid of them. That'll be good. Not realizing that as soon as two black people get into it, who's the first people they call? The police. So I don't understand why people support these people, but let's let her finish.
Actual safety in our communities. And that is work that I am proud that I will continue to advocate for. I know that we will not get rid of police overnight. That was never the goal. But the goal is to make sure that we get to a place as a society where we do feel safe.
Yes. How do we get to a place as a society where we do feel, and notice this word, feel. It's all about feelings. Someone could be in the safest facility on earth and they can feel like they're not safe. You could put a wall up, put a door with a deadbolt with bars behind it. If a person doesn't feel safe, that's just how they feel. That's not the facts. Someone could be in prison and say, well, I don't feel like I'm in prison. Well, can you walk out the front door? No, you can't. So she wants to get rid of police. She doesn't know how we're going to get rid of police, but she's willing to advocate and do the research to find and discover the systems to make us all safe. It's just a word salad. It's Kamala Harris style word salad. But someone thought that this woman was electable, so they elected her.
Know that we all deserve a representative who isn't bought by AIPAC. I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted 3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada?
Wait, see, she said, I'm the only Muslim in my family. I reverted. Doesn't she mean converted? I see, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I thought reverted means to go back. Yeah. See, reverted means to go back to a former condition, practice, or belief. So she reverted back to Islam, but she's the only Muslim in her family. So how is that? That means you
She's here today,
converted.
and when she asked me that, I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted 3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada? She's here today. And when she asked me that, I thought, that is a great question. And I thought for myself why I hadn't taken the step yet. But it was seeing how all of my friends who were showing up to organizing, who are Muslim, were showing up in the space, and the grace and love and passion that they had in these spaces of social justice.
So the grace, love, and passion of her Muslim friends is what encouraged her to convert to becoming a Muslim. So the way a few people acted in the space of activism made you disregard the fact that the guy who started the whole religion was a pedophile. Okay. Totally made you forget what happened on 9/11. Totally made you forget that there's like a global jihad at all times where these people are like purposely trying to like take over as much land in as many countries as they can. I don't understand this. Purposely, it made you forget that Muslims attacked a crowd of protesters in New York with bombs, threw bombs at them. Thank goodness they didn't go off, but they did it. They admitted to it, and they admitted that they were radicalized on the internet. So, yeah, these people.
That really pushed me to join the faith, and wanting to make sure that we are reflecting that I'm reflecting that in every space that I'm in, and that, inshallah, if we make it to Congress, that we're reflecting that in the halls of power as well.
So basically, no separation of church and state. We're basically going to get into office, into public service, and we're going to use our religious, we're going to use the elements of our religion as a guiding light, I guess, on how we should run the country. Like, I don't get this. I don't get why anyone would vote for this person.
So are we ready to free Palestine? Are we ready to abolish ICE? Are we ready to win Medicare for all, housing for all, and unions for all? I know that's right.
And so like,
yeah, we're ready to do it. What she should have said, are we ready to pay for it? Are we ready to pay for that? Medicare for all, housing for all, unions for all. Well, what if all don't want those things? These people, I promise you, anyone can get elected in New York right now. All you have to do is say the buzzwords: Trump, affordability, fascism, Nazi, APAC. You just repeat those words in any order, no specific order, in any order. Just say those words and throw mumbo jumbo between. You will get elected in New York City.
And finding that, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people.
Capitalism, racism, and Islamophobia have been used to colonize lands. The Muslims colonized more land than anybody. Muhammad, from the day he was able to raise an army, did nothing but fight and colonize until the day he died.
People, and so this is like a long trajectory, and we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, like, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, and a lot of times because of U.S. policy.
No, you come from a land that was colonized because y'all colonized it. Bro, there are like 54 Muslim countries. There's 54 Muslim countries. You don't get 54 countries under the same religion without colonization. That's the part that kills me. Oh, America colonized. Da, 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 da. America colonized Muslim countries? Where?
or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for like a terror attack that like a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc.
Yeah, they always got to throw black people in there because slavery, man, Muslims ran the longest running slave trade out of any group of people on black people. The Arab slave trade took more black African slaves out of Africa than the the transatlantic slave trade ever could have imagined. Like, you have to be totally ignorant of history to listen to these people. And I like the comment somebody put up earlier where they said if they were truly Muslims and they were truly observing Islam, women wouldn't even be allowed to hold political positions. This lady wouldn't even be able to speak on a microphone. America's so bad. America is so bad we need to become Muslim. But not a single one of these people will go to a Muslim country and live there because they are accustomed to the freedoms that they enjoy in America. Iran literally murdered tens of thousands of their own peaceful protesters. This is true. They beheaded a bunch of women recently. They are 1,000 times more deserving than Ukraine was. Just wanted a better deal on oil and mineral rights. What? I don't get it. They are 1,000 times more deserving than Ukraine. What? Ukraine was just wanted a better deal on oil and mineral rights. I don't understand the end. But I agree. Iran murdered tens of thousands. Iran admitted to killing 40,000 protesters. They admitted to that. And then beheaded a bunch of women after that. And somehow these people are like, yeah, let's run our country the way they run their country. These people are liars. They're basically dishonest. And the only way you're going to be able to sell this type of crap to people is if you promise to give them a bunch of free stuff with it. And so the people will vote for you because they're like, well, yeah, we don't got to accept the religious crap, but we're going to get a bunch of free stuff. But the reality is no, the free stuff is never coming. Biggest threat to humanity, Jews. I don't agree with that. I believe there's evil people in every country. There's good people in every country. Sitting up trying to blame the world's problems on one group of people is crazy. That's absolutely nuts to me. But hey, you have a right to believe what you want to believe. I'm just saying, you're talking about Jews. The Muslims are better? I think that whole region is just jacked up because the people over there don't want to get along. But yeah, we don't like the Jews, so we're gonna go to the guys who the boy lovers, the dancing boy of Afghanistan guys. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, the guys who behead women for protesting. They just killed a wrestler, the number one wrestler in their country. They just killed this dude. Made up a whole lie about him and just like beheaded, bro. Hell no.
I think that I kind of find like reprehensible.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. That's just a small taste of what we're dealing with here. Okay, what the Democrat Party has become. Again.
Yeah. So yeah, these people, they're wild. Go here. So yeah, these people have won their primaries in New York. Honestly, New York is not friendly to Republicans. So it's looking like they're probably going to win overall.
Union.
In the general elections.
And join DSA.
What we have delivered here today is a clear mandate that the era of taking a check and cashing a check and calling it representation is over.
Yeah, so they basically put.
Yeah. So they put a bunch of deranged people. They Trump, free healthcare, free housing, all this. It's like, dude, these people are going to Congress. Well, they might go to Congress. Do you truly believe Congress is about to pass a free healthcare bill? We just had the Obamacare situation basically just destroy the government. Like, Like, Obamacare didn't work, and universal health care would end up costing way more than Obamacare costs. And the American people were super unhappy with Obamacare. You're going to have to convince me why I need to pay for the health care of some guy to get heart surgery when I may never need heart surgery. It's not free. You're just going to pay for it before you actually utilize it.
Of the Democrat Party, a major boost.
This is your victory. What you all have shown this evening, whether for state assembly, state senate, or Congress, is that a year ago, it was not the end of a political movement. It was the beginning. And let's hear it for a politics that will never forget working people. For a politics that is ready to write a new chapter in our party's history.
Conservative Partnership Institute Vice President Rachel Bovard joins me now. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. It happened last night. And
I really just don't understand how these people are like, we're going to stand up for working Americans. No, you're going to raise taxes on working Americans to pay for things for people who don't work. So if I work at the steel mill and I make $40 an hour, you're going to chop my check so much. You're going to chop my check down to like $33 an hour to then pay for childcare for a woman who goes to work and makes $17 an hour. I don't understand how that makes sense to people. We're going to take from this guy to pay for a free service for this lady so she could work a job that doesn't even pay her enough to pay for her own childcare. This is wild, guys. Like, am I the only one? Like, give me a 1 if you feel where I'm coming from. Like, it's called robbing Peter to pay Paul. But both of them are going to end up broke. Because if Peter stops working, how do you pay Paul? Especially in New York where all the billionaires are leaving. I mean, they said we're going to go after the rich. The rich are going to pay. But the rich are leaving. So if the rich leave, who's going to pay? The not so rich. The middle class, the people all under the rich. Like, as much as you might not like Trump, as many mistakes as you believe Trump is making with the Iran situation, Trump is still 10,000 times better than this crap. Because these people can't even explain to you how they're going to do what they're saying. Zohran Mamdani took a big ass loan from the state government of New York, and then he did some funny business with the retirement accounts of New York City workers. He delayed payouts. Excuse me. So the socialism is already failing. But free stuff.
All these socialist candidates believe in Medicare for all. They believe in abolishing ICE. They believe that Israel is committing genocide in the Middle East. And one of them, Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, once posted on Twitter that she forgot napkins, so she wiped her hands on the American flag, and she and the others are poised to be sitting members of Congress. What is your reaction to this, and why this socialist movement is growing right now?
Well, there's no getting around it that this was a very good night for the DSA, for the Democrat Socialists of America. And I think what should concern everyone is that this is a growing movement. Remember, the DSA has grown 10% in membership since February. They have been chalking up wins at the local and county level in red states like Arizona, Kansas, Iowa. So these congressional seats are simply the next step in the process of them consolidating power and becoming less of a fringe movement on the left than moving towards becoming what is now the establishment Democratic Party. As you mentioned, people with extreme views are now going to be sitting in the United States Congress. And it's not just, you saw the DSA update its policy playbook just earlier this month. They now want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish the Supreme Court and the presidency and make it all subject to Congress, in addition to a whole host of other things that they've talked about for years, like borders aren't real and all of these crazy proposals. So I do think this is something that can't be ignored. It can't be laughed away. Mayor Mamdani can rightly, at least after tonight, claim the right as kingmaker of the left. And for establishment Democrats, you break it, you bought it. They had time to push this movement into the fringe. They didn't. The time to say no to it was when they said borders aren't real and America is racist and Israel and the Jewish people are the source of every problem in America. They did not do that. So now Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democratic Party in Congress, is going to have to deal with these people who now represent, in many ways, the face of his party.
Yeah, and a lot of people say what happened last night, it took place in New York City. No surprise there. But these three candidates that win, they give the socialist movement more messaging, more power there. When they get to Congress, they're going to have committee assignments and just become overall more visible. And it sounds like what you're saying is with these three races and the local elections that are taking place that aren't getting as much attention, that there is a real movement here that could impact politics on a national scale.
That's exactly right. I don't think, for a long time, we've shrugged and said,
well, I'm going to stop these two ladies because I'm not really with the doom and gloom stuff. What we've seen from the Democrat Socialists of America, once they gain the seat by lying to their voters, we're going to give you free everything. They usually end up just voting along with Democrats, the mainstream Democrats on everything. Like, when is the last time AOC, who is a Democrat Socialist of America, she's a member of that group. When is the last time AOC went against the party? That's my question. When is the last time? When did Cori Bush, she's not in office anymore, but when did Cori Bush go against the party? When did Jamal Bowman vote against the party? They don't even vote against the party. So people are like, oh, yeah, the Democrats got to worry about this. No, the Democrats have already sent the memo to these people. Promise these idiots whatever they want. And then when you get elected, come to Washington. And when you're unable to deliver them what they want, blame it on the mainstream or the moderate Democrats. This is all about getting the seat, gaining the power. And then it's bait and switch. You gain the power, you get the seat, and then you tell people, oh, it's impossible because these mainstream Democrats. This is the game they're playing. That's why people like Hakeem Jeffries don't care about this. He doesn't care how radical they are. He understands that you might have to have a radical message to get certain voters to vote for you. I want to ask this question. Because hold on, I'm trying to. So I'm looking up Andrea Ocasio-Cortez And I look more at the behavior of these people. Who's Joe Cool?
You know me, man.
I don't know you.
You do know me, motherfucker. Where we meet? Sarah's, maybe? I met you somewhere.
Where?
That's how I subbed you. Sarah wasn't a raging tomato, wasn't Sarah's. I don't know. We were arguing on somebody's panel. I go a lot of places, man. I told you I was going to sub you up.
Okay. Let me read this real quick. So I look more at what these people do once they get in office, right? So they'll talk a lot, free this, free that, free whatever, right? Let's abolish ICE. Let's do all that. First and foremost, these people aren't abolishing crap. These are the apparatuses that actually defend their power. So they're not getting rid of it. But I look at AOC, she typically votes with the Democrat Party majority 90 to 95% of the time, meaning she breaks with the party on roughly 5 to 10% of votes. She has unique maverick votes. She has cast several high-profile votes where she was the sole Democrat or one of very few to vote nay. Notable instances include being the only Democrat to vote against the $1.7 trillion omnibus spending package in December 2022, voting against the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal years 2023 and 2025, voting against the Israel Security Assistance Support Act. So basically, she votes against things that she know are going to pass with unanimous support. And then
Still,
she says,
no big deal, yeah. You know, just to even speak your mind, it's still a big deal to dissent, even if you know it's gonna you're gonna fail.
She doesn't really dissent, bro. She votes against it to save face for the radicals that support her. That's like me and you. That's like our kids want ice cream for dinner, right?
Right.
And
there you go.
No, but say like your kids want ice cream for dinner, right? And dad is like, nah, you ain't getting ice cream for dinner. And then mom is like, nah, you can't get ice cream for dinner. But then on some lesser thing that they want, mom like dissents, she breaks with dad on it.
Let me give a better example.
Give me a better analogy.
The kids want ice cream for dinner. It's like a party, like 9 parents there, and you know the rest of them are gonna say no. So you say, yeah, get a kid's ice cream, knowing it'll make you look good with the kids, but it's not gonna pass. I understand what you're saying.
Exactly. No, exactly. This is what she's doing. You know, you really don't. You're good cop, bad cop type shit. Like you know it's not. You know it's gonna pass no matter what, because all the politicians are kind of beholden to Israel. Yeah. So you know it's gonna pass, but you're gonna be the one person who says no. And honestly, I know that they sit around and plan that type of shit. Like
I would assume it. Yeah.
You need to save face for your followers, and we need to save face for like our followers.
I think you're right. I don't know who does it in what instances, but I'm sure those things are occurring. At least I imagine they are too. Yeah.
You said what? Say that again.
I say, I don't know to what extent, but I assume the same things are occurring. They are plotting. Listen, you're going to take the hit for the team this time. You're going to look good for the team this time. I would assume they talk about that behind closed doors.
The thing I noticed, though, that I always point out, too, like, you know, you got a lot of black people who vote Democrat, right?
Oh,
but do you ever notice? Yeah. Do you ever notice that the people who always end up losing their seats are black people? Like, yes. Since AOC has been in office, everybody who has had to take the hit on these unpopular policies was black. Whether it's Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, Nina Turner, Fonnie Lewis, like just go down the line.
With Bush, it was the same thing. I can't remember Colin Powell. He's the one that came out and presented the fake evidence that they had was moving nuclear weapons out the back door. He took a fall. He could never become president or anything after that. And he was popular as fuck. When that shit came out, it crushed him endlessly. It ended his career. He took it for the team, though. And,
yeah.
You know,
Colin Powell, when he didn't run for president, because I was like, Bro, run for president to see
He
if
was
they
popular enough, right? He had a shot. He stood a
bro.
shot, I thought.
When my grandfather was a Republican, bro, and that dude was talking about Colin Powell, like, dude, like my grandfather made me feel like that dude could have got elected. But here's the thing: run for president. If they support you in that, then they really mess with you. Look at Byron Donald. I know the Republican Party really messes with him because he won his primary in a landslide. Those white folks is messing with Byron Donald. He beat a white guy by a landslide in Florida. If you're gonna be over there, then be over there.
Well, let me ask you. I'm nowhere near as adept in these political spheres as you are. Do you expect some type of blue wave? Is there something gonna change?
I don't think there's gonna be a blue wave because, you have to offer an alternative. And the Democrats are just like,
the Democrats have never had a plan.
They're just like, don't vote for Trump.
Yes, Trump
and
is evil. That's their whole platform. Yes.
Because I will vote for a Democrat. I will vote for a Democrat. I would. I voted for a Democrat in my city election. But here's the thing. You have to show me who I'm going to vote for instead of this person. And even when it comes to the presidency, they're still throwing out Kamala Harris.
That's a great point, man. I wish they would. They have no imagination, right? Zero.
They have no plan.
Listen, I hate both sides. I don't know if you know. You apparently don't even remember me, but I hate both sides.
You, but I don't remember where I remember you from.
No, okay, I hate both sides. But and I do think the Republicans in this particular moment with all the wars and shit are particularly evil. But generally speaking, the Republicans put on a better clown show. So they're more entertaining by far. Watching Democrats is like watching paint dry. Republicans are out there with swords doing shit. It's all horrible for the people. But I prefer fucking see a show as long as I'm alive and I got to be part of this fucking garbage.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with like Trump, I feel like Trump is just trying to do too much at once because he knows he only has like a little bit of time to get things done.
Yes.
And I think because he's doing that, it's like making him kind of look bad. Yes. But with Trump, what I always give him some grace is this. I know that once Trump is gone, it's going to just go back to business as usual. So
you ain't lying.
We might as well just get certain shit done while he's in.
Because it never all the way goes back.
Yeah, because they're
totally
not,
goes back.
They're not going to do crap once Trump is gone. J.D. Vance and these guys, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to say business as usual.
J.D. Vance is, I think, would do more than Trump. He's worse than Trump would be, I think. If he got some power, I think he would.
J.D. Vance was just a typical milquetoast Republican. He actually was against Trump at first.
I remember them.
But he was able to somehow reinvent himself.
He seems like an evil fuck now. He reinvented himself to be the worst of the worst. The most extreme fuck now. That's what he is.
I don't even put Vance and Trump. I don't put Vance and extreme in the same sentence. Like, J.D. Vance is too milquetoast to not.
You'd probably know better than me. Again, I don't believe in it.
He's just going to go along with the party direction. That's why he's kind of being outshined by Marco Rubio right now. Because he doesn't really have a lot of, I would say he doesn't really have a lot of, like, unique character traits that make somebody say, "Oh yeah."
I understand.
He's like Al Gore. Vance is Al Gore.
Right. Al Gore. Right. It's paint drying. That's right.
Clinton is
Hillary.
Clinton is he's gonna play the saxophone and sleep with your girlfriend.
Right.
Al
Hillary Hillary was paint dry. She had nothing. She was just the opposition to the Republican Party. No one wanted Hillary. No one wanted Biden. They're both dead. No one. Well, I don't know. You got Kamala want people with her is weird. I think it's just that left liberal nonsense.
I think
just want to see a woman. Yeah, that type fetish shit. Yeah, that type of shit. Because she ain't got no ideas. She ain't charismatic. None of that shit.
Nothing. And they try to be. And when they try to be, they're cringe. But they are politicians out of California. And when I tell you California politicians do not have to work to get elected. Look at this guy who's running for governor, Javier Becerra. That guy is the most lame candidate I've ever seen for any political race. And he went from being 1%. He went from having 1% of the vote to being the front runner.
How does that occur, man?
Because Swalwell dropped out and the Democrats voted.
Why him though?
Because one is blue no matter who, and two, in California you got a bunch of Mexicans and they're going to vote for the Mexican guy no matter what.
Anyway,
no matter how corrupt he is. He's very corrupt. But they don't care because they want the first Mexican governor of California in 100 years.
Let's talk about Trump, and this is why we probably argue. I'm so impressed with you. I am so glad I got to see this side of you because I just saw you yelling that night in the other room. I had no idea that you was this smart. I had this kind of insight and all of that shit. Glad I got to see it.
However, what was this other room?
I wish I could remember, man. I do 10 panels a day sometimes, so there's no chance I gotta remember this.
Oh, was it on Dinah's channel?
I don't know Dinah. No.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It was fiery wherever we were at, though. It was great. Okay. Anyway, was it Balderson? Spin City? Spin. No. Angry American? No. All right. Anyway.
Angry. Oh, was it Mr. Angry Man?
No, it wasn't Angry Man. No.
I don't know.
All right. I don't know. But Trump, I'm worried that that you have blind spots when it comes to Trump. So I want to talk about Trump. Yeah, I'm gonna ask questions. What I'm gonna do, and then I'll kick in. But I want to make sure that I because I know where you at. Shit, I barely know you. All right, so General, you're a fan of Trump first? Should I assume that?
Yeah, I like Trump. I'm okay with him. I voted for him 3 times.
All right, very good. Are you satisfied with his performance this time?
Do I will have to think about the things I don't like that he's done. I don't really have an issue with anything Trump's done.
Very good.
I'm thinking about it. I don't have an issue with anything he's done. I think Trump has done a lot of good, and then I just think Trump has done a lot of things that he felt were right. And I just think,
does Trump deliver on his promises? Is he that type of president?
I believe when it comes to like stopping the influx of illegal immigrants across the border, he delivered 100%. Immigration is at like 0.
Well, that's the one instance I was speaking.
But that's the main reason people voted for him.
I dig it. I wanted his character. I'm trying to see if you embrace his character.
Yeah,
I want to know, do you think he's honest? Do you think he's trustworthy? Which is why I asked, does he do what he say he's gonna do?
I think that what I trust Trump to do is what he thinks is best. Let's say that. A lot of political things these guys are professionals at like being able to find a nuanced way to be telling the truth, like a roundabout way.
I think you're saying professional liars.
No.
They're really good liars.
No, you can say something that could be like true, but it could be true based on the way you look at it, right?
It's your intent. If
it's like what black people are doing with Karmelo Anthony.
Lying.
It's like what black people are doing with Karmelo Anthony. They know it's wrong. They know he killed the guy, but they're going to try to make a million reasons to justify it. With Trump, I think Trump says what he's going to do, and I think immature people have a lot of criticisms of Trump.
Those are two separate things.
They argue things that Trump never promised.
Says what he's going to do, and then you totally pivoted. You didn't say he delivers. Did you check that out?
But I mean, what hasn't he delivered on?
Well, let's see. He ran on, we were going to end all wars and do no new wars and stay at home and mind our own business. Did he accomplish that?
What new war did he start?
Stop it.
I'm asking you, what new war did he start?
Kidding.
We've been in a Cold War with Iran for 40 years. Every politician who is running for anything has a video where they say that Iran is the greatest threat to American security in the last 40 years. So I don't get what you mean. He didn't start anything. He's damn sure going to finish this situation, but he did not start this situation.
Since we're going to do the pretend, we'll stay here.
We're not pretending.
You are. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
You're pretending that a Cold War and a hot war are the same thing, and I'm about to call you out on it. You know what I meant. We were not at war with Iran. Now we are. You know that. Why would you act weird?
How are we at war with Iran when there was no war declared and Iran could physically do? How are you at war with a country who can't do shit?
This is your argument because no war was declared. No
There's
war has
no
been declared. So the Iraqi war,
There's
Operation
no war
Freedom,
possible.
None of those were wars because they
The
were not
Iraq
declared.
war was not a war. That war was not declared.
Okay, right. So we have our own definition of
You
things
can't
over
do
here.
war with a country who is unable to engage in war with you.
Right.
So what you do, you will do escalations. You can do like bombings, whatever. Basically, when he did Operation Midnight Hammer, that wasn't a war.
Is because this new definition of war that only you have, that no one else, no book or anything else will have. You've made a new. So I got to figure out your definition of war here. Is Russia at war with Ukraine?
There's been a declaration of war, I believe.
But I thought that wasn't a prerequisite because we haven't declared war since World War II. So the Vietnam War, the Korean War, none of them were wars under your metric.
These were military operations, man.
Okay, you're calling it wars. So
my
we
grandfather fought in World War II.
Wars.
And my grandfather fought in World War II, and I can tell you, based on what you're calling a war, none of this is anything even close to war. If you ask a real soldier, these are operations. War is continuous fighting, moving in, taking ground, keeping it. Hey, you have to surrender. There's
you mean
no
like
surrender.
Afghanistan and Iraq?
Even
like
Afghanistan wasn't a war. That was just an operation.
It's been going on for 15, 20 years or something crazy.
It went for 20 years thanks to the Democrats, but yeah.
So it did continue. You're flip-flopping a bit here.
No,
okay.
It went for 20 years, but just because something goes on for a long time doesn't mean it's a war.
Your metric was that you don't go on you go on land and you do all this and that qualifies as a war. I'm telling you, we did that in Afghanistan, and now you're saying, well, that doesn't qualify as a war. I'd like to get back to Trump though. When he said, no new wars, we're going to stay out of other people's business and take care of ourselves at first. You assumed, because most people assume that he would not be spending money on fighting abroad and shit, that he was directly stating the opposite. But you knew that that's not what he was saying because you and him share a similar definition of the word
let
war.
me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You tell your daughter, I don't want you messing with no boys. You can't go out on a date with a boy until you turn 18 and you leave my house.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter come home, 16 years old. She talking to her mama. I met this boy. He's so cute. He asked me out on a date.
Right.
Now her mom come to you. Oh, let her go out on a date. They just gonna go to the movie. We gonna chaperone, whatever. All of a sudden, what you said changes, right? Because the circumstances have changed. So
Don't say that.
When Trump, no, see your position.
Don't say that he followed through. Say the circumstances
Your
changed.
position is immature because everyone knows that situations change, especially in the political arena. Did Trump know when he said no new wars that Iran had uranium enriched to 60%? No. They came out and declared that. Wait, they came out and declared that later on. So do you think Trump would have said that if he knew Iran had uranium enriched to 60%, which can be used to make a nuclear bomb?
I think this is what you should have said at first, rather than pretending that war was something totally different and you want to look crazy for those 5 minutes.
But this is not a war, though.
Okay. All right. So when Trump said the uranium shit, would Trump have done it? Do people change their minds? Yes, they do. And if you were a sincere cat in good faith, you'd have said that, yes, Trump said we'd stay out of affairs abroad, but the situation changed. And then the conversation went from there. And I'd have asked you the next question, which is something more difficult to evade. Did Trump release the Epstein files like he ran on?
Trump released like 3 million pages of the Epstein files.
Are you sure?
Well, whatever. He released way more than anybody else did.
Are you sure he released anything?
Trump released more of the Epstein files than any other person who had the power to release it.
Okay.
And you do know that the reason why Trump can't release the rest is because there's a court order where he can't release it because it would jeopardize the identity of the safety and identity of the women who were the victims in the Epstein file. You do understand that, right?
I would argue still that he hasn't released a file.
So you want Trump to violate the orders?
No. I'm not even addressing that. I'm talking about the first part still. I say he hasn't released a file because when he ran on that shit, when he got in office, he said there are no files. He said it's Obama and
a hoax, right?
and Biden Democratic hoax. There are no files.
I believe it is a hoax.
Hold on, let me finish. Then when his own people came out and said, yes, there are files, he said no. They said, we're going to release them. He said no. They had to go through an act of Congress to force those files to be released. Congress, they had to go around the president because he would not release them. So I'm not sure why you're crediting him with releasing the files right now.
What I'm going to tell you is Trump released the Epstein files. He released as much as he could because he got pissed off. But I understand Donald Trump because when you look at the Epstein files and people read them, I've read some pages from the Epstein files. It's like a joke. It's dumb stuff that makes no sense. Why would I release a bunch of shit that's going to create a shitstorm when it's not even nothing in it? I'm going to say this full stop. Nothing in the Epstein files can be used to convict or prosecute anyone. So why would I release something that has the power to damage so many people's lives and there's no ability to bring anybody to justice based on that?
Well, I have a million reasons why, but
no,
first,
I'm just asking you a question.
I have reasons why.
If something is no benefit,
no.
Why would I destroy people's lives with it?
You didn't say. Wait. Now you're saying no benefit. At first, you said a person couldn't be prosecuted. There are other benefits to releasing a thing outside
like what?
Of prosecution.
Creating a public shitstorm where everyone's accusing people of being pedophiles, even though just to be in the files, your name just has to be mentioned. It doesn't mean you did anything. And on top of that, Bill Clinton's mentioned in the files. He's in a jacuzzi with a bunch of women, and people are like, we see that, but we don't care about that. Trump.
Wait. You did not read the file. Well, there's a bunch of them. You did not read the parts pertaining to Trump, though. Clearly, you wouldn't have brought that shit up about Clinton. What's in Trump? What's about Trump?
Tell me what the Epstein files say about Donald Trump.
You don't know, which is what
yes, I do. Yes, I do 100%. The only thing the Epstein files say about Donald Trump is that Donald Trump raped some young girl. Well, he basically had the young girl, 13-year-old, sitting on his lap, and he tried to kiss her, and then she bit him on the lip. He tried to make her give him, fellatio, and she bit him on the wiener. And he was like, get this bitch out of here. That's literally the only thing it says about Donald Trump.
I'm so glad you said that because I know you didn't read it. Here, there's a part that's
go ahead.
All of the FBI part that's pertaining to Trump is highlighted in yellow. Yes. Look for that part with all the yellow shit.
No, tell me what it says. Tell me what it says.
I'm about to. Those are, 15, 20 years of people calling in and informing on Trump with all the same accusations. Some of them are really horrendous.
Do you listen? You don't.
You didn't really want to know.
This is what I'm trying to get you to know. Listen, man. This is me. I'm a grown up, right? You're a grown up too, but you engage in immature behavior. When you understand that people were calling in to the line like a prank line, people were saying, man, people were submitting pictures of movies saying that this was a picture from the Epstein Island where they were eating a human being. Trump's eating people and babies and all this stuff. Bro, I don't have the time in the day to actually give stuff like that, very good energy.
So you call me a name. You call me a child.
No, I didn't call you a child. I didn't call you a child.
Think like a child, whatever you say.
I'm saying you're engaging in childlike speculation.
Very good. I'm okay with that. You accuse me of engaging in childlike speculation while you say is no other mention. And now you pivot and say, oh, there is a bunch of accusations. They're just
I am
bogus.
Literally
two different things.
I am only bringing
either
up
there is nothing else or there is.
What I brought up was the thing that people said had the most credibility with the young girl, and he tried to make her give him fellatio. I'm not.
So there
gonna
is more in the
even
files.
bring-
That was the question.
I'm not
is
bringing
there
up
more?
anything
You said,
about
no,
eating.
there's nothing else
Listen,
in the files.
I'm not bringing up anything about eating babies and all this stupid stuff. I'm bringing that up because
you brought that up. I didn't bring it up. You did.
Well, the woman who made that accusation, you know, they're saying that even the FBI said that the lady is mentally unstable.
I wasn't even talking about her. I was,
but I'm just talking about the thing that people
myriad of other ones, which you apparently did not read, where the FBI even put what they did in response to these things. All of them was he slept with my friend. My friend told me this. I slept.
He slept with your friend, so that's a crime.
Me and him. Excuse me.
He slept with someone's friend, so that's a crime.
Yes, they were 13 years old.
Man, come on, man. Where are these people at? Where are these people at?
Very good. You should read the files. It tells you what the
Man,
FBI
get the hell out of here,
did.
bro.
No.
The FBI and investigate. Listen, man. There was an investigation done.
Are you sure? Because
the investigators. Don't
put
you
your
just
foot in
said
it.
that the Epstein
don't
files
put
were
your
never.
Foot in it. You're about to say what
you
happened.
You just said that the Epstein
wrong.
files don't exist. Now you're saying you're using the Epstein files.
I never said they
you're
didn't
saying
exist.
Listen, you said the Epstein files were never released. Then you said
I
read
just said
them.
Trump didn't release them. You don't listen well. I said it took an act of Congress to release them.
Either
so
way,
don't straw man. You're horrible at it.
So it took an act of Congress, right? So when Congress does something, who has to approve that?
The president signed.
Oh, you're done. So you're done. You don't know what you're talking about. Trump released him. Trump released him.
I love
Do you
it.
see how
I
this?
love it.
You're just trying to play words. You're trying to play games, word games.
You know that Trump said there are no files.
At the end of the
went
day,
around him and made him
at
do
the
it.
end
Now
of the
you
day,
want to act like
Congress
I'm
cannot
the
make
one,
him do anything.
Ignoring reality.
Congress can't make Trump do anything.
Sure looks like they did,
Two,
right?
They did not. Two, this is the whole thing. You could say whatever you want. If Trump did something wrong, just like every other common sense person, if there was one line of credible accusation in that Epstein file against Trump, the Democrat Party would have took that line. They would have redacted everything else out of the Epstein files to where you could only see that line, and they would have used that to prevent Trump from gaining the presidency.
You're talking about shit you don't know about.
Let me
didn't
finish.
even read it.
Let me finish. This is what I know based on the behavior.
It's not going to change that you talking about shit you don't know about.
You interrupted me. It's not going to change. What
it.
I'm saying is I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again.
Go ahead. Yeah.
With the behavior of the Democrat Party, I know for a fact if there was one shred of credible evidence against Trump from the Epstein files, they would have literally highlighted that, redacted everything else, and used that piece of evidence to disqualify Trump for running for president. There is no one on earth, after seeing what the Democrats put Trump through, who doesn't know and believe that. So what tells me Trump didn't do shit is the fact that the Democrats didn't try to weaponize it against him, because they tried to weaponize every single thing they could. Bro, they tried to get this
Your
guy.
logic, you're going to keep going because they don't respond. Your logic will not outweigh facts. I don't care how wise you think
These
what
are
you
the
just
facts.
said. It will not outweigh the actual evidence that's in the freaking file. And guess what?
You can't present that's fact because you don't know if any of that's true.
Wait, it's a
how
fact.
The hell you going to argue with me on facts with speculation?
I'm not making a claim that it's
true.
So
if you're not making a claim that it's true, why are you bringing it up to me?
Because I am making a claim that there are many accusations in the file.
So file a chart. Listen, so what you could do is you can bring the evidence to law enforcement, and they will file a charge against
law enforcement
Trump.
Will do anything. I think they're in bed with him. I
okay,
read the
so
files,
they won't
remember?
do anything. So if they're not going to do anything, what's the point of even talking about it?
Well, the point is to show you that you are.
You ain't showing me nothing because you don't have no proof.
You don't. Wait, you don't even know what I'm talking about, psychic Brandon.
Listen,
the point
when I was
is just to point out that you are hypocritical.
I'm not hypocritical at all.
And you
I'm not
blindly
hypocritical
follow
at all.
Trump. You will flip and bend yourself into a pretzel for
That
this
is what
man.
you believe.
That's
That is
why,
what
that's
you
why
believe.
It's worth talking about this.
That
right
is
now.
what you
I am
believe.
proving that right now.
You're saying that I would bend myself into a pretzel.
I'm saying you're doing it right
Listen, man.
now.
You're saying I will bend myself into a pretzel for Trump because I'm not going to entertain unsubstantiated claims?
No, you add that last
That's
part
dumb.
on there so you can argue against something that you said. It's easier to argue against the dumb shit that you say. I didn't add that.
A woman can walk through my door right now
go
today.
ahead and argue your own point.
Listen, man. A woman could walk through my door right now today and be like, the milkman raped me. Unless that chick going to show me the milkman and tell me the details, I'm not going to entertain it because it's like, okay, the milkman raped you. You need to go to the cops. I have no power to do anything about it. What I'm telling you is Donald Trump is the most investigated president in the history of the presidency by far. They've done everything in their power to discredit Trump. If there was something credible in the Epstein files, I am certain that the Democrat Party would have taken it.
Trust me, bro.
Anyway, I am certain that the Democrat Party would have taken it and attempted to weaponize it against Trump because they were that desperate to beat Trump in the presidential race. Up until now, every single thing Trump has been investigated on has been proven to be untrue.
You see how you're lying and doing flips for him, though?
I'm not doing any flips. I'm stating pure
You're
fact.
saying war is not war. You're saying there was nothing else in the files. Then you're saying there was a bunch of shit.
There was no war declared.
Good shit.
These are military.
You're saying he released the files when an active Congress did it. Look at you.
Okay, so don't you need Congress' permission to declare war?
Well, it depends. Are you like me or like you? If you're like me, the answer is yes. If you like you rename it and go around Congress.
No, because you are a typical immature person who thinks that you can make the rules. Listen, it's not a name calling. Calling someone immature is not name calling. That's how you're behaving. You're trying to make up the rules as you go along. This is a country of laws. The laws are already established. There is no war without Congress.
Is that true?
Listen, there is no war without Congress. Donald Trump campaigned on stopping.
Brian, I got a text from my sister. I just need a second. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, listen. Trump campaigned primarily on stopping the influx of illegal immigrants across the border. He stopped them. Trump said, we're not going to start any new wars. Trump didn't start any new wars. What Trump is doing is ending a conflict that has been going on for 40 years, started long before Donald Trump was elected or even considered running for president. And when Donald Trump came down the golden escalator, he said, we're going to deal with these dudes. Why would people, if this is a war Trump started, why would Kamala Harris say this?
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
Well, there are different reasons that we should be thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. And look, I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands.
What? The greatest threat is Iran.
And thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. And look, I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands.
Okay, so the biggest threat is Iran. Kamala Harris just said that and said Iran has American blood on their hands.
Right.
Do you think that America is just going to sit by and say, these people killed Americans and we're just going to let them get away with that? No. So Trump had the balls to actually address the conflict. The reason why past presidents avoided it is because it was going to lead to a huge downturn in their popularity because Americans are spoiled. They don't want to deal with it. But in reality, if someone said, you can deal with the greatest adversary America has had in the past 40 years by paying $1.50 more for gas for 3 months, every American would have said, yeah, that's fine. $1.50 more, let's do it. Trump has ended our hostilities with North Korea. Trump has ended our hostilities with Russia. He's about to end our hostilities with Iran.
I want to ask you about Iran.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. That's why I don't understand the people who hate Israel. If you dislike Israel and believe Israel is controlling America, wouldn't the fact that Trump is negotiating with Iran against the will of Israel be a good thing? Wouldn't Trump bringing Iran back into the global community as a legitimate actor, wouldn't that be a good thing? Wouldn't it be good for Iran to be able to sell their oil on the regular market under the supervision of the United States? Wouldn't it be great for Iran to start selling their oil using U.S. banking system, which would essentially mean they would be selling it for the USD, the US dollar, which would strengthen our currency? Everything Trump is doing in Iran ultimately is, if it goes like he wants it to, it's going to be a humongous win.
Very good, because that was the question I had for you. Did he achieve the goals with Iran that he set out to?
They're negotiating it right now. But let me tell you this. We have Iran lying about what they're agreeing to. Iran agrees to something, then goes in public and says, well, we didn't agree to that. But I'll give you a prime example right now that just dropped literally within the last couple of hours. Did you know that the what is it called? The IEA?
EU? Oh,
No. IEAE. IEA. What is that shit called? IEAE? I think it's IEAE. Oh, right here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, the IAEA. Did you know that the IAEA just confirmed that they are going to be doing inspections in Iran? But Iran just was coming out saying, we never agreed to any inspection. Confirms right here. So now we know that Iran is lying, because Iran said that they never agreed to do any inspections, and that Trump is lying, right? And because there are people who hate America and hate Trump, they ran with that. Many people I know. Yeah, see, Iran, right here today, as of June 24, 2026 at 12:40 a.m., UN nuclear boss says inspectors will visit Iran sites. Tehran says only after a final deal. But Tehran said they never agreed to this. So Trump said, we agree to this. They agreed to this. They said, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. And then they come out. IAEA chief acknowledged that there was contradictory remarks made between Iran and U.S. on the subject of they're calling it a war of words. But the reality is Trump told the truth and they lied.
That's amazing that you can tell when they lie. Can you tell when Trump lies?
What did Trump lie about? What did Trump lie about?
I'll tell you. And I predict that you're going to have to pretzel yourself again. Trump said that, maybe you're going to pretzel yourself. Trump said that we destroyed all their nuclear capabilities, making capabilities and all that shit. And that's why we went over there, to destroy their nuclear capabilities. Was that true?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so.
All right. Very good. And then 8 days later, he attacked them with Israel and said it was because they still had nuclear capabilities.
No.
Which one was true?
He attacked them with Israel because they said that they had enriched uranium of 60%. That's what Iran said. We still have it. So here's the thing. They said they still have
uranium. Oh, they still have it.
They said they still had uranium enriched to 60%.
Did we get it then? Is that why we went? Did we get the uranium?
Listen, we don't know if Iran's telling the truth or lying.
So what did he go for? He didn't get the uranium. He didn't stop their nuclear capabilities.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
I'm just saying he's lying.
I'm asking. He didn't lie. He didn't. Listen, man. Look, I'm gonna ask you a question. If they said they did, and he didn't go back in, how exactly would you feel if Iran then got a nuke and nuked somebody?
Yeah, that is a massive pivot. It has nothing to do
That's
with what
not
we're talking about.
No, this is
Right.
why I
We're
say
talking about whether Trump
this is
lied,
why
and
I
you're
say
talking about
people are
whether I want
immature.
someone to get
This is why I
nukes.
say people are immature.
Because they don't follow your crazy pivots.
No, this is not a crazy pivot. This is you trying to get a gotcha, but you're sounding like
No,
a kid.
I was telling you when Trump
If
lied.
someone says
and
that they
you're
have
press link by pivoting
listen,
to do I want to get
if
blown up by a
you
bomb?
said Trump destroyed their nuclear capability, that has nothing to do with if they had uranium already enriched and stored. Now, if Trump destroyed their ability to enrich uranium, that doesn't mean that they can't have uranium that's already enriched stored.
We would agree. He said that
Okay.
he said that he had destroyed. Well, I don't want
He
to get into
destroyed
it. I still say I'm still sound right, but there's some myriad of shit he lied about.
No, he didn't lie about it. He
Okay.
destroyed the nuclear enrichment sites.
Right.
That
Okay.
doesn't mean he destroyed everything that they had already
Very
enriched.
good. So he said that that he was going to go in and they could not make any more nukes or make any more. Hold on, or make any more nuclear material type shit. Is that true?
I think he said that they they couldn't make any more, they couldn't enrich any more nuclear material. But like I just said, just because you have something, no, I'm not pressing at all. I'm
You
speaking
said
clear
he
English.
said they can never make nuclear
If I
shit.
say, listen, if I blow up your damn stove in your kitchen, you can't cook nothing else. But that don't mean you ain't got food you already cooked in the refrigerator, right?
We moved on from that. I moved on to
No, because
his
you
next
lost,
promise.
and then you try to gloss
No,
over it with another
I said
dumb.
you were wrong about what he said. I
You were
say he
100
did say
you're
he,
wrong.
destroyed their nuclear. Well, we don't have to argue about who's wrong. That's why I moved to the next thing that he said, which is that they would never be allowed to enrich uranium. Is that true? Is the deal say they can't enrich uranium?
They haven't finished the deal yet.
But what does it say? You
but
know
I
what it
believe in the
says.
memorandum of understanding that they
Yes.
signed. Have
Yes.
you ever read the memorandum?
Probably. I don't know. I realize
You never read it because it clearly says that they're going to give up all nuclear weapons
Oh yeah,
ambitions.
It did read it. It says they can enrich uranium.
No, it says that they are not going to pursue a nuclear weapon, and they will not, and they're basically their uranium enrichment program is going to be halted for a while, and then they're basically going to negotiate them being able to enrich uranium to what's necessary, which is 3%.
So at least now you're talking about it. So I think your answer is that Trump lied and they can enrich uranium.
No, they can't. As of right now, they cannot. They signed that they're not going to, too.
That's not in the deal either. We'll go on to the next.
Well, it says
thing.
it clearly in the memorandum of understanding.
It's yes. Trump is saying it all over the news.
So if
that they will enrich uranium, but they'll just use it for nuclear shit, not bombs. They'll even have inspectors in there to see what they're doing with the uranium.
That is a
That's
part of
what's
the
happening.
memorandum of
Yes.
understanding.
So why are you acting like I'm making this shit up?
No, you're actually trying to do it. You're trying to.
I'm trying to say they can make.
You're trying to play a game. You're trying to play a game and it's not working.
They can make uranium.
The whole point. Listen.
Can't they? Because they got inspectors.
No one
It means
makes.
they can make
No one
uranium,
makes uranium.
right?
No one makes
Right?
uranium.
Look at
no
you
one,
hanging on a
No
word.
one makes uranium.
Pretzeling yourself again.
No one's pretzeling. You're literally trying. You have low comprehension ability, and you're
so,
trying.
Again, you're mad.
I'm not insulting you.
How
From
many
what
have I
you're
thrown
saying,
against
it's
you?
listen. From what you're saying, it's clear that you have a lack of comprehension ability.
Another insult. You're mad.
This is not an insult.
Give me
this
facts
is based
then,
on
pimp.
This is based on the memorandum of understanding that I read, did a show on live, and read every single line.
You just admitted that they will enrich uranium. I don't know
No,
why you lied.
you
and said they will
Trump
not be.
said they will enrich uranium. I'm telling you that their
yes.
uranium enrichment will be halted.
But why do they have inspectors if they won't be to make sure they're not enriching uranium? Is that what you're telling me?
You need the inspectors need to go in to see.
Hold on, let's just ask fucking Siri
Yeah, why don't you?
or Google.
Siri gonna make you look dumb.
Will Iran be allowed to enrich uranium under the new memorandum? Iran to a nuclear status quo, where it must not produce nuclear weapons. The existing stockpile under agency supervision, which means I think they're kicking it. Ceasefire, and they will have ongoing enrichment allowances? Thank you. Google says, yeah, they will be enriching uranium.
It said allowances, what they're allowed to do.
They're allowed to enrich uranium. You don't ever get tired of looking crazy, do you?
You're doing what, like I said, you're doing what immature people do. You're trying to take something and conflate it as being something else, and that's just not the case.
That's Falcon speaking very direct. You're the one that's dodging here.
No.
Pimp. Let's see what else Trump did or
when
didn't
we
do.
first talked, when you first asked me, I said Iran agreed that they will never pursue a nuclear weapon. They've already agreed to dilute their existing highly enriched uranium stockpile, and then the details are going to be worked out in the talks. But what I'm telling you, which only proves my point even further, you're talking about, oh man, Trump said we're never going to go to war.
Excuse me, I need another minute.
Okay, look, I want everybody to pay quick attention, close attention. If Iran has agreed to dilute its existing highly enriched uranium stockpile, doesn't that confirm everything Trump said in his reason for going into Iran? Because everyone was saying, well, they didn't have this. Iran, they weren't going to make a weapon. Well, if you can only use highly enriched uranium for nuclear weapons, why did they have a stockpile of it if they weren't trying to get a nuke? That's the argument of all these people. They weren't trying to make a nuke. If you only need uranium enriched to 3.7% for every civilian use, why did Iran have a stockpile of uranium enriched up to 60%? That's the one thing none of these libtards will ever be able to answer. If they weren't trying to make a nuke, why did they have uranium enriched so much that it could have been used for a nuke?
All right, my bad. I'm back. I had to answer phone in another room.
This is the last question I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
All you guys say Iran was not trying to make a nuclear weapon.
I don't know who you guys are. I'm a singular dude.
Well, all the liberals, because this is the whole argument against Trump.
I told you I didn't like Democrats, right? But I'll be
either way, the whole argument against Trump going into Iran was Iran wasn't trying to get a nuke. My question is, Iran admits right here, they said they will dilute the existing highly enriched uranium stockpile. That means the uranium enriched up to 60%, which can be used for a nuclear weapon. If they weren't trying to get a nuke or make a nuke, why did they have uranium enriched to 60%?
You got to let me answer, yeah?
Go ahead, yeah. You're going to explain this.
Yes. As far as I know, I ran under the Obama deal, which was great.
No,
anyway,
the Obama deal was trash.
Just let me answer. Okay.
We'll
talk about it next then. We'll talk about it next.
Pure trash. If the Obama deal was so great, how did Iran get 60% enriched uranium under the Obama deal?
I was about to explain. You interrupted me. Remember, I was going to explain that. To my understanding, Iran was following the deal. They had inspectors in there, 5 to 6%.
They were not following the deal.
I thought you were gonna let me answer.
No. You're bullshit.
You're not gonna let me answer.
If Iran was following the deal, how did they get 60%
I'm gonna tell
uranium?
you, but you keep interrupting me to ask me the question again. It's weird at this
Okay,
point.
so stop saying that they were following the deal if they had 60% enriched
I'll
uranium.
answer it the way I like. I don't care that you get nervous and can't control your habits.
Your answer's already void once you say that.
You say it. Okay, I'll try again. To my understanding, Iran was following the deal, 5 to 6%. They had inspectors going in under the Obama deal to make sure it was true. When Trump withdrew the deal, and I don't know if he blew shit up yet. I think he had blew shit up.
No, he hadn't blown up nothing.
And ended the deal. Yeah, I think it's. I don't know.
He didn't blow anything
point.
up, man. Stop.
When he ended the deal, yeah, I think it was just when they ended the deal before he blew shit up. They started enriching it up to bomb level. They got up to 60% before he blew them up. That's how they got up to there, because Trump took the Obama and killed the Obama deal.
Yeah. So during the Obama deal, quote unquote, Iran was blocking inspectors from going to certain nuclear enrichment facilities. They were lying about how many nuclear enrichment facilities they had.
We agree. That's normal.
That was all. They've been doing that since 2010.
Yes,
they've been
yes.
doing that. So
They did in Iraq, too.
so what kind of deal did you have if they've been breaking the deal from the time you signed the deal?
They weren't doing exactly
hold on.
what they
I didn't
say,
interrupt
but
you.
they weren't.
I
You
didn't
did
interrupt
me
you.
18 times.
Okay,
you
that's
interrupted
fine.
me.
Listen.
They did allow inspectors.
This guy said they were breaking. This guy said, look, he said they were breaking the deal, but then that deal wasn't better if they were breaking the deal. Also what they were doing under Obama's deal was building a stockpile of missiles and drones, which they would have used to defend their nuclear arsenal.
They're supposed to build a stockpile. That's what
No,
armies
they're
do.
not.
That's what countries do.
Not. No, not terrorist sponsoring countries. That's the difference.
You like the U.S., like Israel?
We do what we want to do because we're the
That's
big
what I'm
dog.
saying. But terrorists
You're
sponsored.
just mad because Iran got their
I'm not
ass
mad.
whooped.
I'm just talking
You're
facts.
clearly
I'm not
mad.
upset. I'm not upset. I have no interest in Iran.
Who gives a shit what they do? If they don't comply with Trump's orders, they're going to get blown up.
Just factually speaking,
you don't have facts.
Every country has Israel on a war crimes list.
Who cares?
Israel's
Who cares what every
considered-
country has?
Facts care. You don't because you're emotional.
No.
You were talking about criminals.
I don't have to worry about Israel
is
blowing
under
nothing
war
up.
crimes. I know you must pivot. This is what you're doing now. You're
Is
getting off the
Israel
fact
chatting
that
death to
Israel's
America?
listed as war criminals. You're trying anything you can to
Is
avoid this shit.
Israel
and get it off
chanting
of
death to
Israel.
America?
Don't change
Is
the fact
Israel
that you are
chanting death to
pivoting,
America
changing,
every
and
day?
dancing. Yeah? Get you some new dance shoes, man.
Okay.
Don't you get tired
Personal
of pivoting and
attacks.
stop standing
Personal
on subject?
attacks. Weren't you the one who said personal attacks?
Oh yeah, I called you a name.
Yeah.
Stop dancing.
Get your
Stay
tap
on
shoes.
point. I think that's fair.
Listen.
Now, Israel, no, we're gonna stay where we are. Stop trying to pivot and snatch the shit away and let me say what I want to say, right? It's easy to defend your own shit. If you're a man, you'll defend what I'm saying to you. If you actually stand on truth, I'm saying that everyone says Israel is guilty of war crimes. Everyone except Israel and the U.S. So there's an argument to be made that Israel is a terrorist and U.S. supports them are terrorist supporters.
Listen, man. Everyone you talking about told the U.S. we not helping you with the straight.
He's not acknowledging.
We not helping you with nothing.
Said. He's just
We're not helping
totally
you with
changing
nothing.
the subject,
bro.
That's what I expect. Please
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna let any country that's overrun that let their country be overrun by Islamic refugees tell me anything about anything. Because if you have a bunch of Muslims in your parliament, they can just vote to make Israel be for something to say Israel did war crimes. That's the thing that happens in democracy. The majority rules, and sometimes that majority is ignorant. I grew up in the black community, so I know for a fact that just because a bunch of people say something don't mean it's true. So here's the whole point. Iran.
When white people say it though, it's true.
Here's why you lost.
I love it.
Here's why
if I grew up in the white people say to it, they'd say
That's
they're
right.
gonna do
That's
it's
right.
true.
That's right.
This is
The white
another
man.
side. This is
The
great.
white
I'm glad I hung in there.
So look, this is why you lost. One, you said Obama's deal was better, but we've already proven for a fact that Iran was
I
not.
never said it was better. All I said was
You
he got
did.
the same
You
bill as
did.
Obama
You
so
did. Now
far.
you're lying. Now you're lying. Everybody in
Okay.
the audience heard you say Obama's deal was better. Bro.
They probably like you.
No,
and hear
because
what they
I
need
said
to hear to remain calm
because
and feel
when you
safe.
said. Because when you said Obama's deal was better, I interrupted you, and then you said, "Why'd you interrupt me?" And then I said, "All right."
Which
okay.
time was the
So
fourth
here-
or fifth
so
or
here's
first
the
or
thing.
second time you
So
interrupted me? I
one,
don't even know which one
how
you're
can
talking about.
Obama's deal be better when
Strong man.
Iran never followed the deal? And actually, Obama's deal put us in more danger because under Obama's bullshit fake deal, they were actually able to enrich uranium and build a stockpile of missiles and a stockpile of drones. So that to you, that's better. Trump's deal is much better because it's backed up by bombs. Trump first softened them up.
They can't
right?
make missiles under Trump's deal.
They won't be able to build up nuclear
Hey Siri.
They will not be able to build up missile
Iran
stockpiles.
be able to make missiles under the new memorandum?
No.
No. That dog is Siri sent me somewhere. Siri is saying yes, Iran will. That dog. What are you doing?
Right.
Iran, now Google popped some shit up on me. Yes, Iran will be able to continue making and possessing ballistic missiles. You're wrong again, pimp. Now, pretzel yourself. I'll wait.
Anyway, so we're going to get back to this.
Pivot.
I'm not pivoting at all. I'm going back to what I said.
You're not going to mention that. Google, you're not going to say I was wrong, are you, man? Say I was wrong.
Anyway.
I thought so.
Anyway, so here's the whole thing. They were building missile stockpiles under Obama, enriching to 60% under Obama. They got so bold under Obama and Biden that they actually gloated about how they were enriching uranium past 60% and building missile stockpiles. Trump went in, punked them, whooped them out. So guess what? They can do whatever they want to do. But guess what? If they try anything funny, they're gonna get bombed again.
Sounds
and
like
that
they got
be,
the same
and
deal.
that should be.
Did you ever consider that? What really happened? I wonder if
there
you
was
considered this.
You,
Hold on, ask this.
No, wait. What you have to understand, Obama's deal put a timeline. He was basically like, "Oh, you got to stop doing this.
You don't kill a whole country over a timeline. You go sit at a table like
we
adults."
didn't kill a whole country.
I'm not impressed that he got a longer timeline. We didn't kill a whole country.
What country? Who did we kill in the country? What's the thing? The little girl's school was like a tragedy, but the United States, other than that, only hit political officials and military installations.
Right,
so
as opposed to sitting at the table.
You're just making shit up. The Iranians don't sit at the
table.
table.
I'm making shit up. Don't make me Google shit again,
making
bro.
Shit. Listen, Iran comes to the table, then makes an excuse to jump up and leave the table.
Were civilians killed in Iran?
I already said the little girls were killed.
Let's see if Siri's agrees that little girls and maybe more.
Just making stuff up.
Civilians have been killed because Iran doing strikes, missile strikes, protest crackdown. Major casualties and structural damage occurred in the following locations. And they start off with the school. It was the deadliest, killing dozens of children. Tehran, heavy bombing with civilian casualties. No Florida, Ramadan. I don't even know the names of these places, but apparently there were casualties everywhere. You're wrong again.
No, it didn't even say that. It said the little girl, the school was the biggest loss of life.
Yeah, meaning there were others, yeah. And it went on.
You ain't identifying them.
I did. I said in Tehran, the capital experienced heavy bombings with civilian casualties reported across posh and high-class working neighborhoods, hitting historical. See, now you don't believe Google.
No.
At least,
I didn't say I don't believe Google. I don't say I believe Google.
A missile strike on a sports hall where women's volleyball team was playing killed civilians. This is another one.
Look, man, now you bring
a strike in the civilian areas. Dodge. No, I'm staying to the what we talked about. You said there were no casualties.
I didn't
Google
say there were
is disagreeing.
You're lying. Now you're lying about what I said.
There was only the school. I'm sorry.
No, I said there was the school, but there was no major Americans killed a bunch of civilians and shit.
And you were wrong, right? Google says you were wrong.
No, Google didn't say I was wrong.
Google just named. Want me to
they said
continue?
casualties were reported.
Well, yes, civilian casualties, deaths. Missile strike on unfinished bridge.
You do know casualties. You do know casualties. You do know casualties are not just deaths, right?
I do know casualties are not just deaths. That's why they said.
So casualties were reported.
Well,
so maybe people got injured.
Yes, but you're not going to part at least 20 civilians were killed during the same one with the casualties reported.
You said just 20.
Just 20. You said none.
You said no, I didn't say none, liar. There was like 100-some girls killed at the school.
Yes, you said the school and
so
the rest
so
of the
100-some girls
no
and
officials,
then 20
no civilians except the school.
This guy's grasping at straws.
Right? You
this
said
guy's
no
grasping at straws.
No civilians except the school, yeah? And the right? That's what you said. Yes, was that your claim?
You are the person tying yourself up into knots, man.
Was that your claim?
You said 20 civilian casualties, which you can't even confirm were deaths or not, makes it America doing basically genocide.
Was that your claim?
Can you verify?
Was that your claim?
I said the school
and no other civilians.
I said there were no other major. Listen, I said there were no other major deaths. And
civilian. You said major deaths?
20. You said
major
20,
deaths.
You said 20 casualties, bro. And we don't know if those people died or just got injured.
Well, that's just one. Remember, I named 6. I'm not done. I'm not done. You better claim
Can you
victory,
confirm if
Iran.
these people died or not?
Lamar, the missile strike
Did
on
you
a
just pray
woman's
to
sport
Allah?
hard.
I just heard you
Where
say Allah
women's
something.
volleyball, no, I ain't saying about Allah, was a women's volleyball team was playing and killed over a dozen civilians. That's the next one. Shiraz in the civilian area hit a lodging complex, killed civilians sheltering in a nearby neighborhood. Shall I continue?
How many?
A missile strike at a bridge killed civilians who were gathered underneath. You said no other civilians. I Googled it and asked, were there civilians? You was like, no. So Google says yes.
Bro said
So you must
1,600 casualties. Okay. These people just, hey, look, man, you brought all your crazy friends out today. But
I didn't bring nobody. I'm here alone. I'm not even reading the chat.
Listen. This is what I believe. I believe that no amount of casualties is too much if we're keeping Americans safe. Iran attacked American citizens. They're responsible for thousands of American deaths. My girl Kamala Harris literally confirmed it. So they get what they get. We have to do what's best. Listen, we have to do what's best for our country. Trump, in my opinion, did what was best because he took something that was being kicked down the road and he just dealt with it.
Trump said they were wrong for going in Iran.
That's why I voted for. Yeah,
no.
Did.
When you voted for him, he said it was wrong to go in
Iraq. He never said it was wrong to go in Iran.
Okay, let's see.
Anyway,
let's see. Do you want me to Google some shit? You've been wrong.
Go ahead, Google it. Go ahead, Google all you want to. Anyway, look at this is the whole thing. It is wrong. I believe if you go into a country for malicious reasons. I believe Trump understands that there are people in this country that are profiting off of keeping these conflicts going. And that is why when Trump goes and puts an end to these different conflicts, they come out against him. Because the military industrial complex of America, there are people who benefit from it. So Trump ending the conflicts hurts them. The fact Trump sitting at the table with Iran and negotiating, it pisses these people off. It pisses off Israel. It pisses off the warmongers and the weapon manufacturers. That's why you see so much negative press aimed at Trump about this situation.
You might have
as of right now, there's no shooting. No one's getting killed. They're sitting at the table talking, right? If it was
I
any
don't
other,
know. I don't know, and I know I shouldn't take your word for it. Google says, yes, Donald Trump stated that we should not wage war against Iran, and it was foolish of them to do so. This is before he was elected.
Who waged war against Iran?
Oh, I don't know who the fuck.
Exactly.
However,
You
it
just said
stands. This is a Google saying. I'm just reading some shit.
When did Donald Trump say that?
He stated U.S. Have not even have been in Iran. They're saying they were in Iran. He said they shouldn't even been there. During an interview, here you go. I guess this is going to say. During an interview with Fox, the president exactly stated, we shouldn't have even been in Iran, comparing the U.S. interventions to the missile mistakes made there. So somebody else that went into Iran.
I like this point right here. Iran citizens actually told Trump to do what he has to do and would die by American bombs to be free from Iran's dictator government. This is what these liberal Democrat liars want from America. Bro, listen, all the ones I ever talked to.
That's just a stupid statement,
and I live in California, so I know I deal with more Iranians than you do. So,
well, probably do, but I have the internet.
Listen, you have the internet, but there were Iranians all over TikTok saying, President Trump, please keep bombing them.
Things, right, Brandon? Let's be honest. You think I can't fit a video of an Iranian saying "fuck the U.S"? You think that's impossible?
Your babbling is never going to override the wishes of the Iranian people. And
I'm not just trying to stop you from dodging, man. I'm trying to nail down Kelly here, man. This is what I do.
I don't need to dodge you because you don't even
You're
got
doing it though, right? Every time I pin you, you call me a name and pivot, as opposed to going down the line and standing up to the thing you said. Like the civilian thing. You were wrong about that.
Before you make your last statement, because I'm about to have you make it. The Iranian people asked Trump to bomb the regime. The American people benefits from what Trump's doing. Donald Trump has basically secure control over what happens with the oil in that whole region. We got China kissing our sack. We got Russia basically knowing they have no chance against America. We are basically going to be in control of what Iran is able to do with its oil, and their oil will be sold for USD, not on the black market. We'll be able to track where it goes. This is a win. This is a win, and Iran has agreed to not enrich uranium to nuclear levels and to no longer pursue a nuclear missile. It's a win across the board. Now, the only thing I feel bad for is 13 American soldiers lost their lives because of this, but they're soldiers. That's what they signed up, knowing the risk. If you told me that paying $1.50 more for gas for 3 months and 13 American people dying was going to get us to this point, I would say that was worth it. Even if you told me I had to give my own life to get to this point, I would say that was worth it. Iran is a terrorist regime. They've already proven that if they get attacked and they don't have the power to hit America or anybody else, they are willing to attack their neighbors. If Iran had a nuke, there's no doubt in my mind that as America attacked them and Israel attacked them, they wouldn't have threatened to launch a nuke at one of their neighbors. That's what terrorists do. So they had to be reined in. They had to be brought to heel. And the man for the job was Donald Trump, and he's on the verge of mission accomplished. And that being said, I believe that this will play out like a fairy tale. He's going to seal all this up in the next couple months. And I think Republicans will achieve a landslide victory in the midterms. That's what I think is going to happen.
All right, thank you.
You got a minute for your final thought, and then
thank you. Thank you, because I disagree with a lot of yours, and I did interrupt. Here's what's happening. It's not that complicated. Israel has been trying to find someone dumb enough to go to this war forever. They've been out there saying "BB" every fucking 5 years. Every 5 years he's saying, yes, they're going to get a bomb and they're going to kill us. They're 2 weeks away from destroying us. No other president was dumb enough to buy it. They found one that was dumb enough.
Until they said
hold
they
on.
had the
You said I had it straight. Trump goes in. Trump, he buys the bullshit. He goes in and he thinks that because Venezuela gave up so easy that this will be a cakewalk. It wasn't. He bombs the shit out of them. And he keeps saying they're done. They don't have any more missiles, and then they blow up shit in the strait. Every time he say it's done, it's peace is happening. They blew up something else in the
What
fucking
did they blow up in the strait?
And then at some point, the international voice got so loud and the criticism got so hard. Everybody was saying in 30 days we're gonna be out of oil. Trump didn't want to be the next guy that put the world under depression, so he folded. He gave the same shit Obama did, gave the longer time span and claimed it as a victory. Cost you $1 trillion for his folly. That's my last word.
What did Iran blow up in the strait? Where did Trump spend $1 trillion? How is this not a victory if Iran has agreed they will not pursue a nuclear weapon and has agreed that they're going to let the IAEA inspectors come into the country to inspect their facilities, and they said they were gonna dilute the current stockpiles of uranium they had. Iran got hold, bruh. That's why you so mad. Y'all really thought Iran was gonna put up a fight. For all these years, I had to listen to doomers say, if America messes with Iran, Russia and China, they gonna step up and they gonna kick America's ass. And then America bombed Iran, actually was very lenient because they didn't destroy the refineries or Karg Island. Iran is such a horrible regime. They actually had their women and children stand in front of refineries to prevent America from bombing these refineries, right? Which to me is just low as hell. Like, who does that? You're gonna put your women and your kids in harm's way. It's crazy. But Iran basically is reduced to nothing. They have no army. They have no navy. They have no choice but to, either operate as terrorists and go down to the last man, or come to the table to do negotiations. And the people who hate America, they're pissed off about it. But guess what? We don't care if they're pissed off about it. We got to do what we got to do to keep our country safe. But guys, listen, this went way longer than I planned. So I'm going to have to bid you adieu. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. I am so grateful. Please subscribe. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe as you leave. As you go out, hit the like button, subscribe. You can still contribute if you want to. Cash App is available. PayPal is available, pinned to the top of the chat. We have Super Chat available. I will be back tomorrow at 12 noon. We will go live again. I'm going to be on time this time. Not like today. But yes, thank you so much for watching this. Till next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.